in the heart of darkness, in the spooky month.
Spooky.
It's been a while.
Yes, it has been a while.
It's been a while.
You scary skeletons.
Yes, and I can already feel the creep of death as I have aged 1 year since the last time we streamed.
A lot of people in
Mazel
this call
tov.
Hey,
have.
me too.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Skeletons age together, it seems.
I mean, true. It's how we keep track of everything in the Skeleton Wars.
Yeah. Skelepathy only helps so much.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, you've already lost. A skeleton is inside you.
We're all born with our own sleeper agents. Or is
Okay, Vaughn, you say that, but I did talk about a little bit when I was making my character about the the accursed class, and one of them is there's a living skeleton inside of you.
I forgot about that.
Man, you wanted Ratatouille? Think again.
Instead, you get the worst mecha,
No, exactly.
the human body.
Exactly.
Ugh. Yeah, but still, I was telling Alpha and the rest, I got some great movies beside. My PC was basically the big family gift, aside from like my grandma who gave me money because she doesn't understand that computers have now aged significantly since the 90s. But one of the few things I was able to get from family that couldn't chip in was DVDs. So now I have The Last Voyage of the Demeter, Shin Godzilla, and one of my favorite movies of all time, the original Rodan, finally in my possession.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, no, like my dad was like, "Since when do you like Rodan?" I'm like, "Dad, that's been my favorite movie since before I moved out of your house. It's one of my favorite movies, but we just don't talk about kaiju. You had no way to know." It's like, I think I would have figured it out. No, Dad.
What
First
did
of
the
all,
kaiju do?
Yeah.
We don't talk about kaiju.
Yeah, no, and he's just like, "That's the big moth, right?" And I'm like, "You have already failed."
Percy, stop fucking screaming.
Our loudest
Let him
fan.
speak. Let him speak. He has thoughts. He must free them.
If it's any consolation, we cannot hear the screaming cat, even if we want to.
Okay, that does make me feel a little better.
Also, there's like,
I feel I'm missing out. Like that cat is just belting their heart out.
also there's always
It's because I'm doing something, and he's like, no.
Me.
Forbidden. Error code 404.
But also, don't touch me. Just acknowledge me.
Exactly.
Well, with that said, how about we start going around the horn? Who would like to go first?
I'll take the
Nose
bull by the
goes.
horns.
Thank you, Zan.
Hello, it is me, Xanos Grimm, also known as Zan, from Those Who Wander every other Sunday. You can catch me tomorrow over on my Twitch channel at around 5 p.m. PST. I'm going to be playing my first ever playthrough of Signalis, because a lot of people wanted me to play that for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if that interests you, I'll be there. Tuesday, I don't think I'll be streaming. I know we normally do Halo, but we're taking a break till I think November. And wow, yeah, there's people in town right now, so it's difficult to commit to a streaming schedule. It's kind of all over the place. But for certain, on Saturday, over at twitch.tv/theunexpectables, at around 6 p.m. PST, we are gonna continue in Ravenloft. So if you like the Realms of Dread, I don't know why I keep fucking that up. Realms of Dread
One day you
content.
get it right.
That's there. So yeah, you like spooky goth stuff during the spooky goth month, go check that out.
And Barovia.
You go to Barovia, correct. And aside from that, I will dribble the talking skull and pass it over to Citric.
Hello, it's me. I am Cedric. You can find me pretty much everywhere at Cedric King, everywhere being Blue Sky, Twitter, now back on Instagram because they unbanned me. I still don't know what the fuck happened there. But hey, an account that I barely use. In other places. As I keep saying, like things have been busy. But keep an eye out before next session. I might open up for commissions. Like things have finally eased up to the point where I can take some. Might try some actually sketch commissions. I have to see what pricing I want to do for those, but just to make a simple batch of those and see how it goes. Other than that, I am here no longer on Tuesdays because we ended our Warlock game, but every other Sunday for our game you are watching right now. And yeah, that is pretty much all on me. So why not back to our newest player? Caleb, Alpha, names.
Oh, hi everybody. Scaly Alpha located pretty much everywhere that the little name under Elena's portrait can be found at Twitter and Twitch. I have successfully outran / parried a hurricane, so our schedule's getting back to normal this coming week. I know Monday I'm resuming the playthrough of Pacific Drive, and Thursday resuming Hi-Fi Rush. Friday I'll be doing an art collab, and any other days that in the week are going to be a little bit up in the air as I'm starting to just fix the schedule and everything. I play here now every other Sunday, or rather every second, fourth Sunday, and always looking for more games to play in, of course. Other than that, just doing a little bit of cleanup on my end, trying to fix up everything, and that's really it. I'll pass it over to Tixtixel, I believe, would be the appropriate one, because I believe
Yeah.
last time I did it wrong.
Yeah. As Skillet Alpha just said, you can find me all over the internet at Tixtixel, where I am doing a lot of stuff and things. Actually, not a lot of stuff and things. It's one of those weird, there's a lot of works in progresses, but not a lot of finished products. We don't talk about it too much, trying to be nice to myself and not blame myself for the large pile that just keeps piling up. You can also find me here every other Saturday for No Love War Extra, where we just finished a really, really cool I guess the best word to call it is visual novel. If you're a big fan of games like Danganronpa, Phoenix Wright, Your Turn to Die, that sort of genre, or even I would argue, like, just if you're a fan of investigative mystery style visual novel games, definitely go and check that out. The VOD should be staring
is.
up on. Should be up on YouTube. Go check it out. We had a really great time joking around, doing some fun little voice acting. And we should be back. I don't know if we're gonna be what we're gonna be doing next time, but we should be back hopefully sooner than later for more of that. And then of course you can find me here about to dungeon master this game every second and fourth Sunday. Yeah, that's about all I'm doing. Vaughn, passing it over to you.
Why, thank you. You've already found me over here at twitch.tv/BurnoutVaughn. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Blue Sky at Burnout Vaughn, and over on Patreon at Burnout's Bar, where, talking about schedules being up in the air, yeah, the only stream I know for a fact that will be coming up is, in fact, I want to say, Phase of Our Lives, which is our bi-weekly Tuesday. Hey, Wander Beyond the Witchlight campaign. We've got weddings. We've got people who have to do stuff socially, and stuff getting in the way of a lot of things going forward with some games. So I will say just keep an eye on Twitter and Blue Sky, where I post updates. Oh yeah, the other thing that we will be doing for at least another week before someone's life has to have them be away from stream is Wizard Sibs Plays, where we are already on Chapter 3 of Leon's run-through of Resident Evil 6, where we have properly figured out that Helena is literally the worst girl that Leon's ever met. She is worse than Ashley. She is like a bad penny. But other than that, yeah, we've been having fun with it. So if you like watching people play Resident Evil and or other spooky games while pretending to be wizards from Strixhaven, why don't you come check that out? But with that out of the way, it's time for me to play our lovely theme song. And this is the first time up for the spooky month, so this should be fun.
You should have Roll20 open, actually. That would be really beneficial.
I mean, just I'm here in spirit, right? I do not need to.
You know, debatable, actually.
Oh shit. Session starts for initiative.
You say that.
I mean, I just said it.
You did.
Ron's back. We gotta behave.
No.
Since when has that ever been a rule?
As of effectively right now, I guess, because Zan said so. His
That
stream
doesn't make it a
now.
rule. It is a suggestion at best. It's not written. There is no
The code.
compulsion. There is no compulsion to fulfill it.
What's the quote? The code is more like guidelines than they are hard
Precisely.
rules.
And even then, that's assuming we're putting it as a law. Like, so far, it's barely a suggestion. I have to do shit.
Well, now that we're back.
I also just realized something. Since it would be their first
Yeah.
time doing it, why don't we have Alpha do the recap?
Oh, that's a good
Ooh.
point.
Can certainly do
I
that.
will have-
I have
I-
kept extensive notes on things because of Obsidian.
You
You mean the
escaped
walk-
this time, Orange.
He's breathing containment. Who let him out?
You cannot hurt me.
All right, let me.
Oh,
pull
I
my
can
notes.
hurt you.
I know you can, and you shouldn't.
Just Zan will go over. Zan will go over like, hey, Cedric. Hey, buddy. All right, I have part of the notes up, mostly up to the starting from where the point where I joined in the session.
Sure.
I do have basic notes on the goings on earlier. The session started with the party having, I believe, left the inn, if I recall, momentarily thinking to acquire reagents or something to assist them in casting certain spells. They had spied a certain owl within some branches and happened to throw an axe at it to obtain some owl feathers. I'll put a pin in that for a little bit. As they began to move forward, they encountered an interesting trio of individuals that seemed to be very curious in their doings in the town of Melancholy, prying a little bit too much, though eventually ceded and went about their own way. It wasn't until a little bit later that the group happened across a fountain, whereas the barkeep from the previous stay happened to encounter them and press them on their activities. Them and a good number of people began to be curious on their actions, almost comparing them to a certain cult that wanders the area. The party stood their ground and attempted to explain away as they introduced themselves proper. But the people gathered around in more numbers and didn't seem fazed by it whatsoever. It wasn't until Elena intervened that helped explain the issues that a stalemate was found, but a solution was at hand at the previous group that was encountered. Having introduced themselves as the Fair Winds, they proposed speaking with the town's Meistersinger to help clear the air. The party then decided, along with the group, the Fair Winds, to look for them, first checking the Grand Theater, where the group encountered a large band of interesting individuals, monotone in voice and lacking emotion of sorts. The Meistersinger was not found there, but the band players left a bit of an impression. The group then turned and headed to the most interesting building in the city, which was known to be the Meistersinger's home. There they met Sargrove, a woman that moved about in an interesting manner and had a bit of an oddity around her and the lighting of her home. There she helped clear the air and provide a signet and letter to help ward off any future instances in the town finding issue with the Fair Winds and them stirring trouble, considering the battle coming up. Lena had offered to help teach the group the ways of Cardicus, provided they find somewhere private to talk. They sequestered then to a small library tucked away, where they could discuss many things, including the reasons how the party got here, how they plan to find out more information, move to Scald, what to do with this strange orb, and keep on the lookout for a nefarious individual that Branson is after. The session ended with the poor little bookkeep having had their eyes opened to many a thing and comically asking the blind woman if she wanted to buy a book. And there's more to it, but that's the cliff notes.
Yeah. Did anyone want to add anything else that they felt was pertinent?
Only that we're dealing with Schrodinger's Dark Lord.
The name of Harkin Lucas was, yes, brought up.
Yes. And how Lena has always known that they are dead, and then you have been told they are alive.
And specifically that they will not lie to us. So, yeah, I'm going to call it Schrodinger's Dark Lord. There's also the chance that my backstory antagonist might now be the Dark Lord of this realm, which is even worse. Well, actually, no, I don't know how horrible Harkonnen is. But yeah, that's about it.
Hey, Alpha.
Yes.
Do you have inspiration?
I don't know if I started with it or not. I suppose this is also Schrodinger's inspiration.
Schrodinger's. Well, if you don't have inspiration, take one.
Okay.
For the sake of things, just you have one now.
Thank you.
But we actually ended the session immediately following the four of you opting to leave. Though it was not entirely like leave the physical room, leave the bookshop. But and you'll have to forgive me, I'm not sure if you all stated where you were headed next. However, I'm actually going to ask that the four of you mute your microphones as Kaz.
Oh.
I would like you to unmute your mic, and we're going to start with you today.
Hello, hello.
Hi. Welcome to the party. Welcome to the spooky hour. For those who, well, that would be everyone who don't know what your character looks like, would you do me the honors of describing for me what a Festial looks like?
Yes. So a Festial is a very haggard-looking, 6-foot-tall noodle of a man. Very disheveled, very dirty, patchwork clothes. He has long, straggly white hair that has been long unkempt. Has one eye that is perceivedly blind and always wears a headscarf as well as carries around a very large quarterstaff that is taller than him with a little wooden knot at the tip. He is oddly cheery considering the circumstances, but he is very haggard and looks like he probably lives outside.
And outside you live and are as forests completely consume your surroundings. I'm going to very quickly ask, as I put on some music, I would like a check to make sure that everything sounds fine. I should say ambiance more so than music per se, but
It hasn't come through on my end.
it says it's playing.
I also do not hear anything.
Oh, wait a sec. I hear wind.
There we go.
There we go. As forests completely surround you, the evening sun lowering as the rolling of thunder heads in from the south. While you yourself do not find the woods to be full of rain, you know that rain is coming, and thus you have been on search for shelter. You recognize that you probably have a few couple hours remaining until you are able to, you know, shall we say, become drenched. But nevertheless, you continue to wander aimlessly as you have done before and as you will do again. But as the woods, healthy as they are, I would note, you find, deciduous trees now with autumn coloration starting to really take effect. The reds and the yellows and the oranges very vibrant around you. You start to feel sort of this inkling that while you are continuing to wander in a direction, again, aimless, that you've never traversed before. Something almost nagging at the back of your brain to stretch on to territories you've never yet set foot, as the woods, the markers that you've become very comfortable with, begin to fade out. And I would like to start today's session with 2 rolls. First, a wisdom saving throw.
Oh boy. Okay. Let's see. You'll have to forgive me while I reacclimate myself to this.
You're good.
Where do I
You're gonna
click
go to
on the sheet?
you're gonna go to your character sheet, yeah? And you're
Okay,
just
I
gonna
have it open.
you're gonna click on that save. Like the when it says
Oh,
like
there it is. Okay.
wisdom, yeah. A 5.
Off to a great start. Okay.
As you continue to wander through these woods, you begin to hear whispers. A festial. A festial. A festial. Calling your name almost rhythmically. And at that, a perception check.
Uh, there we go. Oh, okay. A 19.
As you look around you, taking note of your surroundings and hearing this voice seemingly coming out of nowhere, you notice a few things immediately. And that is number 1, you see nothing but wood. But number 2, from the east and the west, there seems to be the beginning stages of an early wisping fog beginning to roll in. And number 3, and this is most interesting to you, is that that voice that is calling your name over and over, whispering, has no echo. Now, granted, you might sit there and be like, well, if it's a whisper, how would there be an echo? The reality is that if something is spoken out into the world, out into the dead quiet, there usually is some semblance of, shall we say, reverberation. And for once, there is none. And you can hear this voice crystal clear. Is there something you would like to do? Or do you continue to push forward?
Ophistial will stand to his full height and speak back to this whispering voice. Hello there. Might you tell me where I am?
Festial. Festial. Just continue to say your name.
Yes, that's my name. You didn't answer my question.
Give me another wisdom saving throw.
11.
A little better this time.
It's a little better.
You hear the name call out to you. And this time, as you ask, or state rather, you didn't answer my question. You start to notice almost the sensation seeming to almost it's almost like a breeze that kind of passes along the side of your face towards your ear, into your hair, around the back of your neck, and off the other side. And I'm sure as you plan to react, and I would love to hear how you react in a moment, if your gaze follows the direction that sensation goes, kind of, like, looking at your back or looking off to the side, you notice somewhere in the fog, you start to see the edges of what looks like a figure.
Ophistial feels that chill of a shiver through his body as he feels this essence kind of caress him, and he chuckles uncomfortably. You're getting awfully familiar with me, friend, but you still aren't answering my question. And that man over there is he also a friend of yours?
Come to me, Ephestial.
I don't know you. No, I'm good.
At least take me out to dinner first.
I'll buy a man a drink first.
But as you say, I'm good, thank you, you feel that sensation once again brushing up against your ears, brushing up against your head. And I would like for you to roll me yet another wisdom saving throw.
Okay. 8.
You feel almost like a pressure on the back of your head. Come to me, Ephestial.
Okay, I
Please.
don't like your tone.
You want to know why I called you, yes? Or would you prefer a different name?
Do you know?
Come to me, Ephestial.
And with that comment, he pauses like he needed to fully reset his thinking and focus on this dark figure, and he starts to take a step towards him.
As you begin to grow closer, the mist itself begins to grow thicker, rolling in on itself, encroaching but very slowly, like welcoming arms, almost waving, beckoning you to come. Come.
Kaz, a lot
And
of
as
stuff's
you
getting put on mute.
What? What was that?
There's a lot of background stuff coming in from Kaz.
Oh, got it.
Oh, apologies. I'm not sure what that could be.
Yeah, like for a second there, it was starting to pick up like yeah, it's occasionally picking up even your speakers, like you're hearing us.
Weird.
Okay, well I'll go back to muted.
You're good.
Maybe I'll
Appreciate
see
you.
if my mic's just like hypersensitive.
We're frozen in a moment in time.
Um, okay. Does that do anything different?
I can try talking. Oh,
Okay.
no echo.
No echo.
Hell yeah.
Okay,
No
cool.
echo. Sweet. Cool. Incredible. We shall continue. The space
Alrighty.
no longer frozen in time. As the mists
To be
begin
continued immediately.
right, continue immediately as the mists begin to almost beckon you, enticing you. Come, come, Festiel, come. And you continue to hear that, but instead of it just being one voice, you now hear multiple. But as the voices say, come, come, you begin to notice the voices that you hear come, 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 come. They all begin to say different names, no longer using a festial, but none of the names seem to quite resonate. You don't notice any sort of connection to these names. You hear you hear almost like a roulette, or like they've just been picking names at random. One uses the name Isaac, one calls you Nazir, one calls you Clover, one calls you Icarus, one calls you, and it continues and it continues until it begins to almost create this unruly wailing sound of just a chorus of incorrect names. But as you step one foot into the actual mist, it all silence, and you see in front of you that visage, that man. You see a man, pale in skin, with almost elven like ears. You see he's dressed in all black, the hat, and this very dastardly look in his eye. I'm so glad that you decided to join me. Come, let's take a walk. And he begins to walk deeper and further into the mist.
After hearing the plethora of names thrown about, Ophistiel became very overwhelmed and took a step in the opposite direction, rejecting the figure but not breaking eye contact. He doesn't say anything back to him.
Do you follow?
Might I ask you a question first?
But of course, though I cannot guarantee an answer.
Who are you?
A
Do
being
you know
such as
me?
I know many people, Festial.
But but do you know me?
By name, by presence, by disposition, perhaps. by emotional, intimate knowledge herein. No.
Vestial will hesitantly walk towards this figure, if anything, just to see if he can't get a better view of his features and details of his face.
You certainly can. There's one thing that catches your eye. A scar that goes down from it's very faint on the face, but you especially see it go down the neck. And it almost looks as the scar of someone who's been hit by lightning. The grin on his face, the smile that appears as you draw closer, just feels wicked. You don't even need an insight check to recognize wickedness when you see it.
With that detail, uh, he steps back and refuses to follow.
You find, as you try to take a step back, that the mists have almost swarmed, circling around your leg. Do you resist?
Yes.
I would like you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh boy. That would be a 5.
You find in this moment, as you try to resist, your vision goes a little blurry. Like the figure that was already difficult to see in the shrouded mist now becomes even more hazy, and the trees themselves begin to grow slightly darker and less vibrant, though they are still the trees that you know and remember. Now come, Ephestial. I thought
Guess
you
you're not
wanted
really giving me a
answers.
choice, are you?
I mean, you have a choice. You've always had a choice.
If I go with you, where will we be?
To a place full of answers. Place full of reasons and, dare I say it, purpose. Something that I know that you have always struggled with, Ephestial.
With that statement, Ephestial will clutch his staff tightly in his arms and take a quick glance at the woods behind him, as if to say goodbye.
The woods, as
And
you look behind you, are almost completely shrouded in mist. It is hard to see them.
he turns back to the figure and steels his resolve, and with a big huff. All right. Pull my leg, why don't you? I suppose I'll come.
He holds a hand out to you and stands there with a wicked smile.
But just so you know, I don't trust you. And he very shakily reaches out to take the Shadow's hand.
As you say, I don't trust you. It is not a matter of trust. In fact, it is wise not to trust. And as you grasp onto his hand, what you expect to feel in shadow. Whoop, there's some feedback again. That's odd.
Is it on my end?
Yeah, it's on your end.
That is so weird. It is dead silent in here.
Whoa.
I
Well,
if I mess with anything, then I can't hear you guys very
Sure.
well.
So here's my thought. Why don't we... The scene is almost over. Why don't we wrap up the scene, and then why don't you disconnect and reconnect to the call and see if that changes anything?
Okay.
Cool. So as you grasp the hand, firmly grasp it, you actually do feel as you reach out that it is corporeal. In fact, the hand that you touch is icy. It is bony. It is frigid and dry. It's like, you know, when you touch a metal or like iron gate that's been sitting in the December frost. That's what it feels like. And as your hand touches, your vision goes completely and utterly black. As everything around you for the brief moment just seems to fade into this shrouded darkness, the mists completely engulfing you, and your vision becoming almost double. And as you come to, you find yourself certainly not in the forests of which you started your day. In fact, around you, eerily enough, you find yourself in the crevice in the alleyway between two buildings. One made from stone and wood, seeming to be, despite being a tiny building, very well made. And beside it, another building, of which is what I can only describe to you as it's clearly someone who is down on their rut, down on the rut. They're like downtrodden. The house is, I can only describe to be ramshackled. There are holes, patched holes in the walls and on the ceiling. There are boards over the windows, and the door that you see to the side of this house is actually kind of splintered and on its hinges. And it's at this point that I would like the other four of you to unmute yourselves as you four walk out of the building, of which is beside this person who has appeared in the alleyway as mists have encroached on the edge of the forest, seeming to just lap almost hesitantly, flirting with the city limits, or the town's village limits, I should say.
Humphrey behind me, and it would appear the mist has returned.
Yeah, if Humphrey sees the mist, he immediately gets on edge. Why here?
I do not know.
But it did not get inside of the towns. It's unnerving.
Elena, do you know anything about the mist will be here?
I cannot say for certain, but it does not often lap fully into town. You should be safe, at least around many others. It often chooses the targets very carefully.
Well, I suppose we should be cautious nonetheless. Branson, are you getting anything from your lantern?
Am I getting anything from my lantern?
I don't know, Festial, are you undead?
I don't believe so.
That was
And he, like,
above game.
tap-
That was above game. Above game. Is a Festial undead?
He is not undead.
Then no, nothing happens.
He taps his vitals to make sure his blood is pumping, and he's like, "Nope, I'm good."
And the four of you hear the "Nope, I'm good" coming from the alleyway.
Do the mists talk now?
Hello?
Hello?
Follow the light. you'll notice that there's obviously like a lantern light that's peering out from it. If you can't see through the mist, that probably would be your point of reference.
You can see the light through the mist.
Yeah. Festial will stumble through the mist, seeking the light as he hears these seemingly, at least not terrifying voices on the other end of it, until he can see the figures standing without a haze blocking their view.
And as you emerge from the mists, the four of you see, as was previously described, this tall and lanky, unkept man. And since Kaz is new, who would like to describe? Actually, why don't I just go in order? Let's start with Branson. Branson, what do you what the person holding the lantern? What is a Festial see?
Right? Now that we have nearly completely finished like party art, let me just refer back to that so I can do the proper description.
Sure.
See, I need to. Oh no, we polluted call text with so many memes. Okay, there we go. Well, you'll
Whose
see.
fault is that?
Hey, you had me be quiet for like 10 full minutes. I can only do so much. But yeah, you'll see about like a 6'1". He's not built like a fridge, but this is obviously like a very well-built man. You can kind of tell under all the layers of what seems to be armor, like patchwork clothing, and such. I'm not sure what place you come from, since you could be from literally anywhere in the multiverse. But he is possibly a Yuan T. And there's the feedback again, so I'll get a second.
Oh, let me disconnect and reconnect. I did not do that.
Oh,
Okay.
good.
One second. Okay,
Welcome back. Yeah, we're good.
is that
I'm
better?
hoping-
Yeah.
I guess
I'm
we'll
hoping
see.
it stays.
I had a
Yeah.
thought. My husband's outside rehearsing, so I don't know if any of his stuff has been interfering, but I went ahead and turned off all of my like Bluetooth stuff on my computer, so
Yeah.
That might also
maybe.
help. Also,
Yeah.
Are you also using headphones at all?
I'm not.
That's probably it.
Yeah, the microphone is picking up the speakers.
So yeah, if you just plug in some headphones or something, you should be good.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think there's.
Would it be a stream without some slight technical difficulties?
Oh, absolutely not. Every stream has scuff. It's very important. It's integral.
Even if there
Mine does
wasn't,
already.
even if there still wasn't, I spent 3 weeks forgetting to put up the last session on YouTube, so there was already a fuck up. It just wasn't on stream.
Yeah,
we
I was
remain on
going.
brand.
Yeah, no, for real. I was going to check a detail from last episode, and I went to your YouTube, and I noticed that it wasn't there, and I was like, oh.
Why no session?
To be fair, I had like 5 videos I all had to upload at once. I thought that I'd already uploaded that one.
No, you're fine. You're fine. It just didn't occur to me to look prior until I was like, oh yeah, what about that one detail? Oh, there is no VOD.
Okay, I have some headphones. Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah, that should be.
Yeah.
Okay, problem solved.
But yeah, you'll see a guy who's about 6'1" with white hair and somewhat reptilian features. If they are from a setting where they would be, this would be a variation of a Yuan-Ti, where you'll notice that they have a much more pushback nose, a little bit of like more, not obtrusive, but just slightly longer like eye teeth. But the most noticeable thing is that from the bottom of his eyes and seems to track down his cheeks a little bit are a trail of very dark red scales, as well as a pair of like snake eyes in red painted on his hood. He's got a lot of axes. He's got about 4 axes hanging on an L hook on one side of his belt, well, hand axes. He has a very nasty looking axe on the other side, hanging from 2 L hooks, and then just on his random belt he shoved 2 other axes that seem to be silver into there. And he's wearing a hooded lantern on his hip, which is the source of light that you would be tracking.
My sir, you seem awfully prepared for something bad to happen.
Yes.
And Humphrey, why don't you
Mhm.
describe what you look like? What does a Festial see?
Currently hanging behind the group, clearly trying to hide from something. You see this tiny, like no larger than 3 foot tall, like gelatinous thing, very bright colors, like tons of yellow, cyan, magenta, wearing a tiny cape and a bowler hat. He's not carrying an arsenal like our friend here, but he is carrying a rapier sling over his shoulder. Clearly very like oversized for him, but carrying it nonetheless. Hi, and Humphrey takes his hat. Uh, Pleasure to meet you. And Humphrey looks up to you. I mean, as much as you can think he's looking at because no face in there.
Ophestial's eyes brighten as he sees your strange form, and he kneels down to be on your level. Oh my, I've never seen anything quite like you before.
Yeah, I get that a lot. I presume in Humphrey looks. Are the mists like recoiling or are just hanging there?
They're dissipating.
We might have a lot more in common than we think, actually. I believe you have been taken here by the mists.
Oh, is that stuff that was just there? I suppose so.
And you can clearly see a change in his demeanor. He's no longer like standing timidly. He's now a lot more confident in his stance. Yes, I not really a fan of the mist, but they are the reason we are here. At least 3 of us. And Humphrey looks up to Rasvan.
Which Razvan, would you like to describe what you look like?
You see a 6'4", rather slender-looking man, whose features clearly mark him as what looks like a near a corpse, if not a walking corpse. His skin and lips are very frigid, coloring like the dead. Despite this, he seems to have a very lively face and an infectious smile, as he looks like he's about to say something kind of smarmy towards Humphrey. You do see what looks like past some freckles, a broken bit of black theater makeup on his underneath his eyes and his lips. But aside from that, he seems to also be wearing a dark studded leathers kind of draped over, pretty heavily worn, with a billowy gray striped clothes with red buttons kind of underneath. At his hip, a rapier with a humble design, but you also notice what looks like a leather tome that seems to be also pretty well worn and written in. As he kind of looks towards this figure in the mist, takes off his rather large brimmed hat and looks down towards Humphrey. Please, when you're meeting guests, it's rude to have your hat on.
They just came here. I trying to welcome them. We did not get much of a reception ourselves, didn't we?
Take your hat off!
Humphrey takes off his hat. My apologies. I meant no disrespect.
Rosvan just wanted to see Humphrey's ears again.
Yeah, he has 2 tiny knobby ears inside of his head.
Ophestial lets out a pretty boisterous laugh. Don't feel the need to be so formal around me.
And the fourth? Lena, what do you look like?
Lena is a rather tall elven woman, probably cresting a little bit near 6 feet tall. She has like a very pale, like minty green colored skin. And wears a loose like gambeson, belts, fitted leggings, jack boots, and has a rather oversized polearm for her in tow, using almost like a walking stick. Um, Her eyes are wrapped in bandages that have slightly shimmering runes on them. Her arms, as depicted, are also appear to be made entirely out of almost like twisted glowing wood. The effect seems to abruptly stop at more runes, almost like etched into her upper bicep. Um, and she wears a good amount of jewelry on her. And atop her head currently rests a very round, great horned owl that's kind of just observing on the situation. Uh, Lena's attention is currently toward where the mist is, kind of just like almost like she has like all senses open in that direction, and otherwise hasn't said anything.
Ophestial will stand at his full height again and clear his throat. Forgive me, friends, where are my manners? You may call me Ophestial Omen. Uh, Most people just call me the weird guy in the woods, but I'm not quite fond of that. You can also call me Ophi, if it's too hard to remember. It's lovely to meet you all. You seem friendly enough.
Are
Strangely,
you native to these lands, or
He takes a moment to look around at his surroundings again. I don't think so. None of these woods have been anywhere familiar to me, but then again, I kind of just got here, I think.
another wanderer in the mists? You are amongst company.
Ah, company is good. I don't get much of that, so you'll have to excuse me. I'm a little nervous.
Honestly, we're more like a pack of strays than like a company.
Hey,
the number
actually, a good bit accurate.
the number of individuals coming through the mists now is growing a little concerning.
Of course. If you are to be a guest here, we might as well make sure that you meet the host, or at least one of them. Elena, I would imagine you are more equipped to discuss about these lands than us.
Certainly, I don't mind going over what we went over in the library. We could find somewhere and help introduce our new acquaintance here to some of the norms and the like. I know there was something that I'd forgotten in the library that I was meaning to address with a lot of you. It could be helpful having Ophestial here along as well.
Should we go back inside? I doubt the librarian will have any objections.
I also don't really want to traumatize her again.
We may want to find somewhere else. I would hate to give her a heart attack.
Also, I believe we were talking about going to the pub. I know I could use
We
a drink.
don't have. We should cover introductions, though. Not just the introduction we're doing right now, but we've got the rundown of how things work here.
Funny enough, that was one of the things I was meaning to discuss to you about.
Let us not talk in the middle of an alleyway. To the pub, then. Spirits are always good to be uplifted with more spirits, I always say. I believe you know the way. Looking towards Branson.
Yep, Branson will just gesture. Come. Well, actually, all three of us,
like
you
Branson,
and Humphrey, would know.
Branson would also know that Razvan's just distracted looking at Humphrey's ears.
Branson will gesture for everyone to follow, and he'll just look back to Ophestial and just be like, strangely enough, I was also all the strange man in the woods for about 2 years.
We all have that phase.
I suppose we do have a lot in common then. If you don't mind me tagging along, that would be wonderful.
At this point, I've stopped questioning it.
The kindness of companionship is the least we can offer. We've gone through some troubles as well, and I can empathize with your situation. So yeah, we are happy to have you around.
Oh, also, before we even get to what Leno has to tell you, were creatures are everywhere here, so if that's a problem, make your peace with it now.
Oh, no worries, no worries. I'm very akin to them, so at least that part will feel like home.
Well, the last person we met carrying a stick was a werebear, so
Oh, no need to be alarmed. It's just my staff.
Okay, let's go get drunk.
we keep going to the pub. Humphrey says, putting back his hat. And just a note on Humphrey's tiny knobby ears, like, they wiggle when he talks, and it's clearly involuntarily.
After seeing Razvan's fascination with him and his ears, Ophestiel also cannot stop staring at them.
Until, of course, you see the other thing that can't be stopped stared at. Just a sec.
Oh my.
Oh, I used the wrong one, sorry. I gotta use the sticker version.
Oh, good. Good.
Welcome to the cult of sheiks.
So, the 5 of you now make your way to Pawnee's Brewery.
How often have we been there by this point? And we've only
Oh, you
been
keep
here like
going in, and it's not like at this point. And I'll give this to you because I assume Humphrey at this point has been keeping tabs because that's just something that you've been doing. You, Humphrey, do notice the fact that people have been watching. The fact that you keep going in and out. And even more so, you notice that Bishop sort of looks at the 5 of you, first the 4 of you, and just kind of has this like weird questioning look, like kind of like again, right? And then the 5th walks through the door, and you see an individual at the
counter?
yes, thank you. Who at this point, Hephaestion, they are staring at the group with a very like confused expression. But they sort of just kind of wave it off and then start focusing more so on cleaning up the space, getting things ready, making a few adjustments to the barrels that they have.
Is the place crowded at all, or do we have like room to sit on the counter near Bishop?
Given what time it is, I would say, it's. Give me a second. I am. Okay, so with my dice rolls, we are looking at a not even necessarily so much as the bar top itself being crowded by customers, but more so you can tell that some type of like cleaning is going on. So while you could realistically sit down on the stools, you notice that it seems as though some type of shipment has come in, and Bishop is currently in the process of like changing out ale barrels and like restocking the bar.
Mm-hmm.
What was the name of this pub again?
It is called Pawnee's Brewery or Pawnee's Brew.
Thank you.
It's funny. I was only just thinking about Parks and Rec earlier today.
Well, time to change the name of the tavern. So,
Little Sebastian's. Wait, no, damn it.
no, that's the name of the
Applebee's.
stables.
Yeah, Humphrey will try to find a place near the counter and wave to wave to Bishop.
Again, you're able to. It's just
They're
that
just busy, yeah.
yeah.
God, these
Wow.
poor service workers seeing the same people walk in and out over the course of like 2 days.
All around me are familiar
Yeah.
faces.
Well, no, the worst part is we were here earlier today. That's when you put down like your beat poem. It's
Yeah,
just
that's what I'm saying. Like, we think it's Cheers. They're not happy with us.
Nope.
At least we didn't come in at like 10 o'clock and they close at 11.
Oh.
Listen, we are speedrunning becoming regulars, okay?
Before we leave in the next 8 hours.
Again, speedrunning it. We have a deadline.
Well, you're in my tavern once again. Wasn't here earlier, but I heard from a couple of my service workers that y'all had stopped in.
It's been a day so far, and what can we say? Your place has been rather welcoming. Hope we are not interrupting.
You're also the only person besides the worker at the inn who has not tried to sick an angry mob on us. So
Yeah, that's fair enough. I did hear about that. I'd like to say I'm sorry, but I will not take responsibility for the actions of other people.
No, it's actually quite impressive. If we had the knowledge that the angry mobs were so easily summonable, I imagine we would have tried to do that earlier.
I would say that's news to me, actually. I don't necessarily think I've seen many angry mobs here in Melancholy.
Well, from my
Also,
understanding, you also don't see many groups of travelers from the mist.
That is quite true, sir. And I was just about to say, did you pick up another one?
Aye, yes. Wait, Ramanas, he'll take off his hat. Ophestiel, this is.
I believe Bishop.
Ophestiel sidles up next to you. I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
This is Ophestiel. Kind of nod.
He turns to the bar and very timidly waves his hands close to his face. Hello.
Well, hey there. Another one from the miss, I see.
So I've been told.
Oh, so you don't even know. Oh, this one's ripe for the picking. Got it. Understood.
Yes,
They're, at least for now, with us. Speaking of which, Ophestiel, what are you drinking?
I'm just terribly sorry. It's been a long time. I'll take whatever your best drink is. Who cares?
Oh, who cares?
Barkeep. The
Yes.
wine. The red.
Understood. And there's a moment before Bishop turns to Festiel and go, the name's Bishop. Then turns to Razvan. Should I take it that you want another glass?
Ah, if you do not mind.
Rosé?
Every day.
Understood. What about you? What about you, lot? And Lena, it's so good to see you. You don't stop by enough.
Why, thank you. It appears that I've found company in a new group. I do apologize on not stopping in a little more often.
I understand, though. It's a little difficult around these parts, so I don't blame you at all. Lena, would you be having your usual?
Yes, that will be fine.
What is your usual?
She too would have wine, probably something of a more like probably more sweet bouquet.
Okay,
Maybe something like Zinfandel or something like that.
sure.
Hey, Citric,
Yes.
we're at a bar.
Uh-huh.
What do you want to order?
Humphrey will ask him for a glass of wine as well.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. What else could he ask for?
You asked.
The fingers over
You
the button.
asked. What? And for you, Humphrey, what kind of wine you getting today?
Well, you seem to be getting a new stock. Anything new in the selection? I have to say, we're just here, so.
Yeah, no, we did actually get something new in this week. A little something new, little something extra. Um, actually brewed up by the rivers near Scald. We don't often get much up there because of the, shall we say, the differences of imports. But I got this nice white. It's a dry white.
Hmm. I would appreciate a glass of that, yes.
And you notice actually because and I will leave this up to any of you who choose to notice, because this is one of those, if you're perceptive, you'll pick up on it. If you're not, that's your that's your prerogative. You notice that the label itself seems to be lacking any of that insignia that you've been seeing around on the different any of the different doors. You notice that there's quite genuinely no insignia at all. On the label of this white wine, the only thing that you see is a single, like, filigree almost shaped vine with thorns and leaves that seems to almost Ouroboros around itself on that label, and that is it. There is no words, there are no numbers, there are no, like I said, no logos or anything of the sort, no branding. It is a single vine that wraps around the center.
Interesting.
Bishop then proceeds to look at you, Branson. You getting the same?
Yes, 3.
3.
It has
All
been
right.
it has been a day, and we have only been gone from here for about 2 hours.
So I've heard. All right, I'll get things started for you. And that Bishop immediately begins to start preparing the drinks for you all one by one.
So, do you want to start the explanation now, or do you want to wait for the drinks?
Cerveza Cristo!
Why?
There it
He can only contain it for so long.
is.
Well, eventually
Waiting.
get, we'll eventually get that sponsorship.
I'll have you know, I literally emailed Mr. Bush. I'm still waiting for a response.
Oh, I love you, Sam.
Incredible.
But yeah, he was asking that to the group as Branson just kind of is now like posted up on the at the bar, like his resting his chin in his hand, just kind of like, again, he's waiting for his medicine.
Well,
Love.
if there is, while we wait for drinks, I suppose it would be assistive to tell you where you are. We are still outside of Elena here, also pretty new to this place, which we only somewhat recently found out was called Carthagus. Has this name meaning for you, Ophelia?
Oh, no, I don't believe I've heard of that before.
So,
Well, Vestiel, allow me to welcome you formally to Carthagus.
And you lot haven't been here long either.
What's it been, a week? 2 days? It's hard to tell.
It's a bit over a week, I believe. We spent 2 days in the first town, and then we had a week to come here.
believe I'm-
If I am keeping track of them correctly, the woods weren't exactly the most welcoming.
I believe I'm the only one that is native to these lands, so I've been attempting to help where I can.
Oh, also in
And your
case
help has been most appreciative.
also in case you didn't know, there's multiple worlds, and we are on a different one.
Mm, uh, that statement just broke his brain a little bit.
Have you ever looked up into the stars and wondered if there are other places other than where you are from?
Hmm. That's an awfully deep question. I guess I've never thought about it.
Well, you don't need to think about it now because you're here.
Oh. Well, can I ask you lot a question?
Of course.
You said the mist brought you here. Did somebody take you?
Rosvan's brow will kind of rise. I see.
Well, to be fair,
I cannot speak for everybody, but for me, yes.
the voice brought me to the mists after I spent 5 years learning how to kill with this axe.
So, you were lured here too.
No, I needed to come here.
Humphrey looks at Rasvan. You say someone brought you here. I don't think you had told us that before.
There wasn't exactly a good opportunity for it. But no, before we arrived at the carnival where we all more formally met, there was what I thought was a small child who urged me into the mists further, and I could have swore I heard something similar when we left the carnival rather prematurely into the mists again. It's difficult to say. This place has a way to trick the minds, at least mine, my mind anyways.
As for me, I was just taken while I was walking through the woods. That's when we were taken to the carnival. It's a different place, apparently not related to Cartacus at all. But once we met there, we came in contact with a person, someone who went by the name of Baba Brunhild. She took us here. So the answer to your question is yes and no. Some of us got here, but precisely to Kartak as we were guided.
I see. Ophastiel is very nervously twirling his staff close to his body.
Apologies, I just wanted to be more specific. I know confusion is the order of the day and wanted to clear as much as possible.
He looks back up at you and his grin returns to his face. Oh, thank you. I'm not unfamiliar with being confused a lot, but this one is definitely one for the books in weird happenstance. So I appreciate your honesty.
Also, you got lucky. Apparently, when you get pulled from certain places, sometimes you change into different things, and he just points at Humphrey.
Oh, is that what happened to you?
Yes, not the most actual way to bring it up, but I guess there is no way to bring it up other than that. I've always been human. I have never had. I mean, this is
No, that's quite
perplexing
unfortunate,
in
isn't it? Oh, forgive
perplexing
me.
in many
I'm so
ways.
sorry.
You're fine. If anything, people getting a reaction out of it. I mean, seeing this is kind of more comforting. A lot of people have just gone with it. and that's kind of more unnerving than I would have wanted it to be. But yes, I've been getting the grip, I guess, out of the situation. Can't say I am all too happy about it, but I will make do with it. And with introductions out of the way, Miss Lena, you said there was something else you wanted to tell us.
Yes. It was a thought that had occurred to me, but I was about to mention it, but unfortunately we may have freaked out a little librarian. I will have to do something to make it up to them one day. Uh, so do you remember when you were at the fountain? Sorry. And you were told that you introduced yourself, but you didn't introduce yourself?
That was a confusing turn of phrase, yes.
Because I had noticed when I was eavesdropping on you, when you were talking with individuals, you weren't introducing yourself, and she gives air quotes with that. Do you remember when you encountered the one named Rita and her crew, what they did?
Hmm.
You mean like making a show of themselves?
I was about to say
Lena
yes.
looks over to
Sorry.
Bishop and nods.
You see the very flat and borderline irritated expression on Bishop's face.
But more importantly, they introduced themselves. I noticed when you're introducing yourselves, you're giving your individual names, your individual monikers. Do you lack a troop name?
Oh,
What?
What do you call yourselves? Or I suppose since I'll be traveling with you ourselves, what is the group's title? The group's renowned name? That is what
Humphrey's
people.
Angels.
That
Humphrey
is what.
looks at Rasmus.
Damn, that sounds delightful.
Stone grinding turn to Rosvan, just like the fuck face.
That's
I,
what
I
people are
imagine at this.
asking.
I imagine at this point, Branson's used to just Rosban doing everything in his power to try to get a rise out of Humphrey.
Well, no, it's more of the confusion of he doesn't even know what a troop is, and now you're immediately saying that what we are going to call ourselves is Humphrey's Angels, which is like, this man is so confused.
He's like Lena senses the perplexed like nature of like the responses, and it says maybe not troop name. Maybe you would know it as like an adventuring party title or some kind of like group signature, I suppose. When people ask you like who are you and they're expecting an introduction, that's typically what people are looking for. They're looking at the thing that the group's renown and infamy are adjoined to, rather than individual merit.
Infamy, you'd
And I
say.
am, and I am to assume that moving forward, we would want to keep a more public profile.
Yes, when you introduce yourselves publicly, much like the fair winds, you would introduce yourselves as your group, unless, of course, you're dealing with something alone or something similar. It doesn't hurt also including your name afterward as a show of, and I just so happen to be, as like a little bit of a topper. But group introductions are the major way of things, is I guess the best way I can put it.
Similar to a cult with no name, huh?
Yes, that's the irony behind it, she says, as she kind of it bites her lip a little bit. Is that
Life is full of little ironies.
I just want to say above game. Now I just realized that one of our major enemy factions is basically the cult formerly known as Prince.
Well, if you must ask, and if we must can find a way to be congealed into one unit, we are simply those who wander.
She
Either,
thinks for a minute.
either that, or we're just, like I said earlier, a pack of strays.
Something definitely boasting something that is unique to this lot would obviously be the best way to go about it.
Well, at the top of my head, most of us were black in some way or another. Just for the sake of alliteration, what about roaming ravens?
Hmm.
Just
You're
a
also,
thought.
you were also all of you lot were brought here by the mist as well, which in and of itself is a bit of a legend of those that were able to traverse it.
Humphrey's Bakery.
Mr. Rasman,
No, he is.
I can.
That was out of game. That was out of game.
Also, I'm mad. Like, I'm gonna have to do some jumps because my boy ain't smart enough to come up with this. So he's just like, mist begotten. Does that
Yeah,
work?
that's pretty good. No, that's not impressive. Very good.
Certainly not bad.
Has a poetic charm to it.
But you'll certainly have time for us to all discuss this on the trip, of course. Probably won't have to worry about introductions until we hit our larger town on the road, or Scald itself.
Oh lord, you're gonna watch Branson pinch his nose as he thinks. First he was gonna have to explain how we lost our tabaxi and replaced it with Lena. Now we have to explain how we just adopted another random hobo.
I'm going to have to renegotiate the pay. We went from 4 to 5.
We were being paid.
The pay
Apparently.
the pay was negotiable because they were also going to give us contacts in Scald.
Oh, you mean the yes, the caravan. I keep forgetting about that. Yes, I'm sure
We
they will
keep
not
getting
mind an
sidetracked,
extra
yes.
hand of help.
Oh yes, also, this land is full of small villages and even smaller collections of people that aren't even marked on a map. We're going to one of the largest settlements, and as a way to get there, we are guarding a caravan of one Leche Doldo.
Lychee.
Lychee. Sorry. I'm sorry. Lychee is a
You
word that exists.
mean you mean lychee, like as in the parasite.
Tres leches.
Ah. Well, we were all wrong, I guess. Thanks for the clarification.
Not a
Yes.
problem, just very amusing to me.
Mr. Dordo is a rather well negotiable person. I assume that they'd be willing to alter the bargain deal, at least to some extent.
Ed, you clearly know them better than we do. But for now, let's not talk about necessities of work. Do you have any other questions for us, or for anything really, Ophistiel?
During your discussion, he was very clearly disassociating while pretending to know exactly what you were talking about. And he snaps back. I don't think I do, but I will definitely let you all know if anything comes up. I'll just, I'll tag along.
Oh, perhaps this would be more, not necessarily formal, but at the very least necessary. I am Raz von Fleur.
Lovely to meet you, Razvan, as he bows his head.
True, proper introductions are in order. Humphrey takes off his hat and makes a short bow. My name is Humphrey Dunrail.
Razvan actually claps.
Humphrey looks at Branson. He's like, he gestures with his head. It's like, your turn. Go on.
You'll see Branson pull down his hood since we're now inside. I'm sure it's starting to warm up since we're in like a tavern. And
Yeah.
you'll see that he's got very like typical like side cut, like just all on the top energy, like very messy white hair. Let's go, Branson. I can't
Can't
afford a
not
less.
see.
Go ahead.
I can't not see Branson now as like Disney Prince Charming eyes.
Oh lord. But yeah, he'll say, Branson, I can't afford a last name.
And my name is Lena Mayers. Pleasure to meet you.
It is very lovely to meet you all, and thank you so much for your kindness and generosity.
Please, we can do for a fellow wanderer.
You had made mention that you had heard a voice before arriving here, or someone alluded to it. Uh, Are you in any form of trouble or threat?
I can't say for sure. I guess it's only fair to be completely honest with you folks. A very, very alarming person brought me here. But and he clutches his head frustratingly. Something about it felt familiar, but I can't put my finger on it. But nevertheless, it was awfully terrifying. I just, well, I came because there was really nothing left for me back home.
I suppose I can understand that as well. Well, as we mentioned previously, there is a caravan that we have agreed to escort to a much larger city. So if you have any questions or simply wanting to find some form of adventure out here, then you are free to travel with us.
He perks up quite a bit at that. Oh, certainly. um, yeah, it's been a long time since I've been able to spend any time in any company, so, I will lend you my aid however I can.
Be you some form of spellcaster or master of martial might?
Oh, yes, I should have mentioned sooner. I am a master of the druid craft.
Oh, excellent.
Are you one of the
Speaking,
Are you one of the type of druids that can fix things with magic?
Oh, no, I was never that good at that, unfortunately. But, I'll do what I can. I need to keep learning, albeit on my own.
That is perfectly fine, if I have to be honest. As I mentioned, I'm getting used to, and he wiggles his like jelly arms, this myself, so learning on the
Um,
job, I guess.
Pardon me, but, I heard you earlier mention something about a library. It
Yes,
seems you
I. Mhm.
it seems you may be left on bad terms, but I'd love to see it if it's not too much trouble.
We
Of
you
course, at
certainly
our
don't have
earliest convenience.
you certainly don't have the reputation we do, so by all means.
It is
And we
literally
still have a day to kill before we have to go to our job. Hours have been not lacking in events so far, so why not? At the very least, you can say we may not be in bad terms, but we did make an impression with the librarian.
I would say traumatized, but okay.
Still
Oh
not
dear.
angry? That is better. The angry people were outside.
Branson, you don't always have to put people on guard. Some people just want to conversate. It's fine.
We looked like we shaked her entire worldview. I'm sorry.
Hey, fair.
Their defense, they were willing to listen. That is more than what we got from the building town.
I'll be happy to show where the library is again if you'd like to make a quick stop there.
Oh, if you don't mind, that would be lovely.
Also, what time of the day is by now? Like, we've been doing a lot.
Yeah, no, we're getting into the mid to later portions of the day. Getting towards evening, and quite frankly, if we're being honest, we're getting to that time of day where you would expect crowds to start thinning out.
Oh yeah,
In
because there's a
fact, you
battle of the bands.
realize, yeah, and you realize as you've been sitting here talking with your drinks at this point have well been put in front of you, that you are the only ones in the tavern right now.
Business going slow?
You could say that. Lots of people are preparing for what's coming, and so they tend not to linger too much in places where bands might be practicing. Although,
Do you mean the Battle of the Bands? Bards?
I do. I do. Battle of the bands, battle of the bars, what's the difference? It's all the same. Only difference is whether or not someone shows up in a group or if they show up solo.
Hmm.
The
Lena
battle is.
ponders.
Is this an event like occasional, or is something that happens regularly?
By whose standards?
Hmm. How
Because
about
you could make the argument that for melancholy, it happens irregularly but frequently. However, if you did, oh, I don't know, say move northward, you might find things are done a little differently.
The rules for each I would assume the battles for each position of Meistersinger depends on the
so?
location and the Meistersinger before it.
As you say that, a very knowing and very, like, almost impish smirk forms on Bishop's face as she sort of throws you like a side eye, like a knowing side eye glance, Lena.
So wait, the Battle of the Bards. The entire point of the event is succession of the title of Meistersinger.
Yes.
It is.
Oh, then yeah, I can imagine that's a big event.
The rules of the battle are often decided upon by those that are doing the battle, though the Meistersinger has a lot more sway in the say, since it has to be done in an entertaining manner, she says, as she takes like a hard hit of the wine.
You watch as Bishop actually raises their own mug of ale that they've had behind the bar. They kind of do one of those gestures of like, I'll drink to that, and then proceeds to also take a very heavy swig.
For his part, looks at everyone drinking, and now that we have our own drinks, he will actually taste this rare white wine.
It's good, for the record. It is very dry. It's not super sweet though. You find that it's actually got a bit of more of like a tartness to it.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that strikes you particularly is there's not as much of an aftertaste.
Are they served in wine glasses?
If you got wine, yes.
Yeah. So Hephaestia will take the wine glass with both hands at the stem and very cautiously take a very long swig as he watches everybody else handle their alcohol.
Oh dear.
Lena would say to the group, I mean, if you want to know more about the battles, we could go watch.
By now, I have heard enough about this Battle of the Bards. My interest is rather piqued. I don't know you too. Mr. Rasvan, if I may, you seem rather averse to going there.
Uh, Most people see me and assume that I am some sort of musically inclined person, but in truth, I am. I am more a poet than a musician. And in truth,
But
I don't usually care for crowds.
To be fair,
But
now
I
they don't really see you as a musician; they more see you as a possible cultist.
Oh, that's so much better.
Usually,
Just-
taking a seat in the crowd means you're not participating in most instances, though. I will say, things happen in those theaters. If you decide to go watch, it would be good to steel yourself a little bit, just to be safe.
on a scale of not to worry and your soul will leave your body, quite literally, would you put that? We've had a bad experience with the last show we went to.
She kind of does like the scales weighing thing with her hand a little bit and kind of grimaces a little, like, depends who's fighting.
You're just gonna watch it. Well, you won't watch, but you'll possibly hear or just notice Branson make like a, and just instantly down the last half of his second drink.
also for Lena in official that neither had seen Humphrey drinking before, he just pushes the entire glass against his face,
Just floating around inside.
and tilts the head back as it slowly is absorbed through the membrane.
Vern like does like the 90-degree head quirk to the side, like looking down, like, huh?
Oh, Ophestial is hard eyeing without any regret of who might be thinking that he is acting weird as he watches you drink.
Yes, Humphrey puts down the glass. Lovely, rather smooth, no aftertaste. That's a curiosity, but rather amicable.
Yeah,
Not obvious.
the
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
the gentleman who we often procure our wines from up in Scald does a pretty good job. If I do say so myself. Happy to do business with him.
So, are we taking a peek at the Battle of the Bards after the visit to the library?
That's what it sounds like.
It may be a pretty alright idea. It may help you grasp a little more about the hierarchy of Cardicus, and frankly, being the only people in town not going to it would also be a point in believing you might be of cultish behavior to others, at least.
Yeah, I can imagine not participating would worsen the already low opinion people around here have of us. Alrighty then. I believe we have our plan, and once we get the cover, tomorrow we have work to do.
You're just gonna see Branson pick up his last full thing of ale, knock it all back with alarming amounts. It's so much so you might question if he has a gag reflex. And he's like, okay, let's go.
I don't mean to pry before you leave.
Hmm?
Proceeds to look at Ephestial. I couldn't help but overhear, 'cause y'all at my bar. You mentioned someone brought you here?
That's right.
Mind if I ask what that person looked like?
Oh, I'm sorry I didn't get the best view of them, but they had a scar over their eye. And
Which
point.
you'll see Branson literally perk up and just go, "Which eye?"
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't remember. They had pointy ears, and that's really all I can recall.
Pointy ears, huh?
You'll have to forgive me. I have a terrible memory, but
Was the scar
yeah.
was the scar crescent shaped?
Oh, I don't think so.
Hmm.
Now that you mention it, the Festial. Roll me. Let's go with an intelligence saving throw.
Uh,
Could you call it out for me? I'm sorry.
Hold on. I lost the screen that it was on. I know. Where's our chat? Oh boy. There we go. Okay, 15.
Actually, now that you mention it, Festil, you're thinking about it. You remember the scar that looked like lightning was on his throat, but upon being reminded and asked if it looked like a crescent on the eye, on second thought, maybe it did. Maybe there were two scars. You don't know for certain, but you have a sneaking suspicion that he might be onto something, actually.
Apologies, Mr. Branson. Um, I I think you might be right, now that I'm thinking about it. I was a little nervous when it was happening, but his scar might have been a little crescent-shaped.
I see. And you will start to hear the bar start to creak as a hand that he was holding on to the bar might be stressing the wood a little bit.
Hey. Do you need a stress do you need a stress tater? I can hand you a stress tater. Don't do that to my bar.
Oh. He will let go of it, not realizing he did it. There might be some minor finger indentions.
There certainly are.
I apologize. I will factor that into the tip.
Bishop hands you a potato. Just straight up hands you a potato.
I hope
Amazing.
This is your stress potato.
I hope it is very dried out and basically a rock.
Oh, it is prime. It's one of those potatoes that is like, this is something that is clearly going to be cooked into like a stew, and the intention of handing it to you is like, if you're gonna smash something, at least be productive about it.
Well, Branson's kind of pulled himself back into himself, not realizing that, like, again, there's a lot going on. All he knows is that this man disappeared into the mist the last time he saw him. He did not know this man could control the mist, possibly. And now, let's just be glad he's not berserk screaming.
No.
Yeah, that
Wait.
potato... The potato's probably already mush.
I was about to say the potato looks like a baylet.
No. I yeah, potatoes do have eyes, but last I checked, they don't have noses.
They also don't eat blood.
Not with that attitude.
Well, we did just get a druid. We could experiment. But yeah, no, he'll just be like, do you have a bowl for... At this point now, having a mashed potatoes in his hand, he's just kind of like...
Proceeds to literally hold out a bowl for you to put it in, like, wordlessly, just, like, on cue.
Yep, just lets it fall out and then scrapes any of the remainder off the edges and just be like... Your mic's a little close to your keyboard.
Someone is typing. Someone is typing very furiously.
That's my bad.
You're good.
You're fine. But yeah,
You're fine.
He'll clear it off and just be like, he'll take a deep breath and then he will just be like, so let's go to the Battle of the Bards.
I thought we were stopping by the library first.
Whatever.
Humphrey looks at Raspan slightly concerned.
Why are you concerned, my friend?
He just tilts his head towards Branson.
It doesn't look any different than normal, does he?
Very well. To the library, I guess.
To the library. You return. I would like to note, as you walk into this room, into the space, it is as predominantly, I should say, as you left it. You see, of course, the many, many shelves lined of books. You see, of course, the scrolls and the various shelves of knickknacks and all of what I had described previously. You see the desk, and that's where your eyes draw attention, as you expect the bookkeeper to be hiding behind some type of ledger or something, as they previously were, and yet both the desk is barren and the person is not there.
I would also point out Branson, trying not to traumatize another individual, will be staying outside.
Oh, it looks like they may have gone to the battle as well.
It probably seems a little rude to be rummaging through this stuff without someone here.
If you don't mind me asking, what exactly do you need to find? Is there any particular book, or...?
Oh no, I'm just a procurer of knowledge. Like I said, I'm a druid, but my old mentor, she died a long time ago, so I just needed to teach myself ever since. I try to make stops at every libraries.
I see.
We could potentially either stop by. It might be too late after the battle, but we might be able to stop by in the morning before we have to leave.
Conversely, we are heading towards Skald. If we are not to procure anything in here, Skald is the largest city this side of Cartagas, for what we have seen. It looks at Lena like for confirmation.
Oh, certainly. But both Scald and Harmonia are known for a great deal of knowledge, both in storytelling and kept.
Well, that sounds pretty good to me. Off to the Battle of the Bands then?
Off to the Battle of the Bands, then.
Aye.
And with that, this is actually where I'm going to call us for a break.
Okay.
Very well, very well.
Welcome to the
Feels like-
halftime show, sponsored by.
You gotta say it out loud. I don't have the sounds made.
Oh no,
Also by-
we're not actually sponsored, so I'm not playing it. But
Okay.
Oh, good, good.
When you
No, we have no sponsors here, sadly.
But if they respond to the email, yes. I will always sell out at the drop of a hat if given the right opportunity, unless it's to something like fucking NFTs or something. They can go fucking die.
I mean, they did already.
I mean,
They are worthless.
yes, but there's still people who are trying to peddle them. Sunk cost fallacy is a bitch.
Fair enough. But yeah, so thank you everyone who's watching.
Yeah, we were so broken up about losing our cat, we adopted 2 other strays.
we all have that phase.
On that note, I do want to thank Isel Caballes for giving me a sub.
Yeah, no,
Very much appreciated.
only responded to it in the chat earlier, but yeah, if you're watching this back, I sell cabbages. Thank you so much. That was very generous to give 5 subs to the community. Oh. It's so unused to it. When I saw the alert come up, I was like, what the fuck just happened? uh. But yeah, no, this has been super fun. Also, I'm glad for Gothic Horror because I finally found some place where I could read Dan to Dan. And I may have marathoned like 50 chapters to try to get halfway to current. And that's a whole different kind of horror. I like it, but it's a different kind.
Just funny to me how in the past like day within the town of Melancholy, we just pinballing all the like from building to building.
I mean, to be fair, we were lured into a false sense of security by Bishop.
Fair enough.
But yeah, no. Also starting to think that possibly I introduced a new Dark Lord to a different domain of dread. Because now they're just pulling people in. Yeah, definitely didn't expect that. I just wanted to be Domo and Kashu. Oh lord, are we gonna get a fucking Devil Gundam? No one tell Bosco.
Tell Bosco what?
DG cells go.
I was making a reference. I just wanted to be Domo and Kashu, and I might have just introduced the Devil Gundam to this setting. That's all G Gundam, the only one he likes.
No, I was. Never mind.
All good. Though I will step away for one moment now, since we're on break. Be right back.
Yeah, no worries. On the note of like domain, since we're here, domain subject, momento, San, what was going through your head last night when your party was about to blow up with a cart?
It was damn. I should have bet on other people for the betting pool. For the
Because there was a scenario where the entire party TPK'd and the guest became the only party.
Yeah, that's true. They had like no healing spells, nothing I could really do anything about. So I was like, fuck, I'll try to survive this, I guess.
And I'm back.
Welcome back.
Also, I've just decided, especially over the course of the last few sessions where we've spent most of our time in a bar, I'm just fully embracing that thing I didn't plan for Branson is he drinks like Zorro. Which, having recently watched through most of Wano, like recently, like I'm up to Onigashima now, which is its own mini arc within the entire spanning arc of Wano. That is the drunkest Zoro is ever at in all of One Piece. He is almost always pictured drinking from a gourd. And also I discovered Oda does not believe anyone can drink sake from a gourd, like, cleanly. They are wasting so much sake.
Well, it's either that or they're in those giant, like, plate bowls that are
Yeah. Well, no
at
one actually
least
drinks
5
that.
feet wide.
Well, actually, no one so far in, like, this arc outside of, the Yakuza boss, who I'm blanking on the name of, drink out of an actual sake cup. Everyone's just straight gourd in it.
Oh, yeah.
Wano arc.
Whenever you see Whitebeard, he's always drinking from a plate.
Yeah, well, like, that's, like, the traditional sake cups.
But
So, like, at least
oversized.
that makes sense, but then they, like, blow them way out of proportion, so they're absolutely gigantic.
Yeah.
Also, welcome to the game, Kaz.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome in.
Actually, yeah.
I'm
since-
having a good time.
I was actually gonna say, since you would only get to do it at the end of the stream. If you want now, you could, do your own around the horn, tell people where they can find you.
Oh, jeez. I'll save it for the end.
That's totally fair. Just wanted to give you the opportunity.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So far, I am loving that we have adopted another hobo.
It just, yeah, like, oh, homeless man in the woods, come here, come.
Branson's
Like,
like,
from the alley, actually.
There's a part of me that's so happy that like the whole rest of the party is like those that walk the mist or like mist walkers or something, and Lena's the only one that's like normal for me.
And then it gets like,
Yep.
I have just met 5 actual aliens. Well, actually, no, 4 actual aliens.
We're fucking cryptids.
She's gone from hearing this in like hearing people are mistwalkers like in like mythos lore to here's like 4+ of them out of nowhere.
And one might have taken control of your domain, as alluded to by someone else and now slightly confirmed by another.
Fucking Star Wars meme. This is getting ridiculous. Now there are 4 of them.
And then it all comes back around. Since I wasn't streaming much this week because, like, different plans, I've spent almost the entire week playing Jedi Survivor because I can actually play a game and not stream it for once.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Very fun.
Yes, it is. The only thing I hate is that every story mission feels like after you finish it, you will get the thing you need to traverse in the, like, hub world, but then if you do another story mission, you are going to be that much closer to ending the game. There's like there's no tonality. It's not like, oh, I can do a couple story missions and then come back. It's like, no, you might also miss all of this stuff, and I'm not 100% completionist, but I'm the guy who wants to at least unlock all of the areas.
Please.
Yeah,
Please go out of your way to find every Scuba Steve fish.
I have.
It is worth it.
Oh no,
It is worth it.
he is my favorite side character.
He is probably one of my unironically one of my favorite Star Wars characters, and I am a huge Star Wars fan. Unfortunately,
same. No, like he's the best. Like I am so happy whenever I see that fucking skip, and I'm like, oh, we get a scuba. The only thing that makes me in any way not be positive towards him is he's the only person I haven't beat in fucking tactics. Everyone else I could beat. It only took like 2 or 3 tries aside from fucking Tilkat, who was also unreasonably hard. I was also mad when I found out, oh no, now I'm not scanning enemies for like tactics, I'm scanning them just for lore. I don't need the bounty hunter lore. Where are you on the tactics board? But yeah, no, that's been really fun. Also, just check a few things here. I've also been experimenting. I was like, you know what? I'm going to see what happens if I try using like full screen character sheets. That way I can see everything I'm going to do. And then we've had an almost entirely social game, so no one's rolled aside from Cass.
Yeah.
Feels like I've been saved by the spell. Oh, I didn't realize I was going to have the roleplay heavy D&D like channel.
I mean, I appreciate those.
I mean, hey,
imagine role playing gross.
Ugh. Talking to people. Just get to roll dice, damn it.
Citric, have you seen Scuba Stuff?
I have not.
He is absolute delight.
Let me see it.
So this is Scuba. I want you to understand they have an incredibly thick Scottish accent, and they just tell you wizened fisherman tales.
Fucking incredible.
Oh yeah, no. Like, he has an entire
The absolute lad.
Oh no, he has a full-on life story that will have you riveted of just how...
Yeah.
Like, literally, people came to my lands, and so I traveled with them, and I led a life I am not ashamed of.
He's got wisdom, lived in wisdom, and as you find, if you go around and find him rare fish, he will tell you more of his story and give you more of his wisdom.
Well, no,
and I have gone to hell and back to find these goddamn things.
Well, no, the best thing is that you don't even have to get the fish for him. The fish aren't the collectible. It's finding him in the location where he gets the fish for himself, and then it's like, let me tell you a story, lad!
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I honestly, the whole game should have just been that. Scuba Step needs his own game.
Oh yeah, no. Then also, I wonder why anyone uses any lightsaber form besides dual blade or the crossguard.
I like the gun because it's silly.
fair. It's just that I found what worked for me. I might try building up the gun once, because I've almost maxed out everything else outside of the lightsaber form, so I might start into blaster. But I'm also not sure how many more skill points I can find.
So yeah, like Phil 9 in chat. Welcome to the channel. We are in break right now, but we
Yes.
will be back soon. We're just waiting for them to come back with their snacks. I believe that's what we're waiting for.
Yeah.
Snacking is important.
There might also be pet care in there.
True.
Absolutely not. Get the fuck out of here, Percy. It's my chicken.
But yeah, no, we've had a lot of people coming in and vibing. This has been a fun stream all around. I guess I'll also say
But
this.
yes,
I was gonna say, in case they also like follow on YouTube or want to catch up. True Shadow Fox, thank you also for the follow earlier.
oh heck yeah.
But you were gonna say Citra?
But yes, it will make small introduction for people coming. This Domains of Dread campaign, not focused on Barovia, which tends to be the norm with Curse of Strahd. Right now we're in on the domain of Cartagas, and we've just picked up a new player, so a good time to jump in.
And we've been to possibly 2 or 3 domains of dread. We haven't asked about session 0.
Yeah, we started at the carnival, and from the carnival we came to Cartagas.
And we also don't know if we'll stay in here. We know of 2 domains of dread that can be run, and things might happen. Our choices do matter, as we are constantly warned and made to fear.
To be fair, we have a bad habit of keep wandering, so
Yeah, we spent like 6. Not even. We spent like 4 hours in the carnival, and we're like, "Fuck this, let's leave."
to be fair, Humphrey was really like not vibing with the whole getting dragged to the mist. It's like, where can I go home? Here, awesome, new domain. Fuck.
Meanwhile, Brant's just like, "Okay, the person I was looking for is no longer here. I can't slay the giant undead that nearly killed me and the people around me. I am out of my element. I'd like to go to some place with a forest that I can just lurk in and kill undead." Also, I wanted to say it earlier, like when you got the wine bottle that has no label, just a filigree mark. I was just like, "Oh, great! Even the objects have social cues we don't understand." We are the unintentional autism party.
Wonderful. I have been meaning to keep track of the emblems on the doors. I keep forgetting to, because I know that one is a crescent moon. That I believe is the most prevalent, but we've come across others.
To be fair, I think we've only seen a few doors that actually have the symbols. I think that's going to be more prevalent in Scald. Again, we are in so much of the rurals in this domain where they don't mark stuff on maps because they're like, what's the point?
I mean, we came by a town completely destroyed, so yeah, there was much of a point marking the town.
Yeah, it's no longer a town now. It is just a mass grave.
With buildings.
Yes. With nothing of value in them because we already looted them.
At that point, wouldn't that be an oversized mausoleum?
Honestly, I'm not sure if you could qualify an open-air mausoleum as a mausoleum.
What do you call it?
Like I said, a mass grave.
But it's open.
Most mass graves are.
I'm thinking of a corpse pit.
Fair. This is also, I think, the most... Despite us being in a gothic horror setting, I think this is the most morbid thing we've talked about throughout 14 sessions.
I mean, we came across a pile of bodies. Actually, yeah, that was... Anyway,
But also, I also just realized because of how the last 2 sessions have gone, it's also the friends we've made along the way. Also, okay, a sec here.
what happened?
Another person followed, but they have a slightly. It's you gotta look there and read it all pushed together. So I just want to properly say it. And Nolian Keyboard, thank you for the follow.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Anolian?
Oh, are they from your streams?
I recognize them from either my stream or Bosco's stream. I don't remember.
Oh, fair.
Just recognize the name.
Yeah. But yeah. Glad you're vibing, and thanks for the follow.
So it might be a good idea to get like some background like music for the breaks. It is a little quiet.
Fair. I have to see about Wiley, because Wiley mostly does short tracks, where a looping track, I'm not sure what he would charge for that.
Oh, and you're not interrupting. You're perfectly fine. We're on break right now, waiting for the to come back so we can go back into the action.
Yeah, it's rare that we actually get to interact with chat unless we're like typing it out in chat. So being able to like interact with you guys, if you want to like talk, like again, show up. We're glad that you're vibing and having fun with us.
I actively ignore chat because I resent you all.
I look at chat because I'm not going to put all of the stress on my mods. You being one of them. Was this one of the few places I did not make you a mod?
No, I am a mod.
Oh yeah, I forgot, because you
I
like
am.
having swords.
I have not chosen many of them. At a point, people were just giving me mod status because it was a meme. It's like, if I am in your chat, give me a sword. Like, why? Nero's was always the funniest because I just said hi in his chat and he just yelled, "You!" and modded me for no fucking reason.
Nero is a
You know what
treat,
else
though.
you know what else is a meme?
Yeah, what's the meme? You know, think I would be like numb to it. But no, every time it stings. Every time.
I spent weeks edging the joke, waiting, knowing that by the time it was ready to be unleashed, it would reach its maximum hitting potential. You're welcome. I have let the tannins breathe on this meme. It is quite potent.
I don't know why you insist on exerting like psychological warfare here. I'm just here to vibe, dude. Why?
I told you I have to get 3 in a session. That way, we
Uh-huh.
could hopefully get sponsorship ties.
And I keep telling you it's not Beetlejuice.
I'm
It's
trying
like
to
you
get
cannot-
Vaughn money, okay? Is that so much of an issue? If Vaughn gets money, you get money. It's all good.
Do I get money?
I mean,
You get paid for art.
yeah, no, Citric. If I can reasonably have a means to pay you or some extra bills, so I'll have extra money to like throw at you as you have given
I
too
still
much
have to
free
work
art.
for it. I still have to work for it, damn it. No, I want it for free.
Ugh. Though I am gonna do something real quick, just because it's been a bit of a minute.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Also, I am happy that I'm treating it as a birthday present to me that the Amazing Digital Circus put their like latest episode out a day before my birthday, because my birthday was on the weekend. So literally, the first thing I did when I came home was just enjoy that.
That's a fun episode for sure. Was not expecting it.
Yeah. And I think it's the first one where there's actual, like, it's supposed to be existential horror. This one was just, no, we're just going to give you a little bit of actual horror. That was fun. Also, I just realized I need to catch up on Kamen Rider Gav, which so far has been living up to the, like, meme of Kamen Rider meets Cronenberg plus candy, and I am enjoying every minute of it. I've got 2 episodes to catch up on.
A lot of body horror.
Uh, fair enough. Well, whenever Kamen Rider doesn't do too much like horror aspect, or the writer might not have picked up on it, we've got an entire race that subsists on eating humans, and our main character is part of that race and part human, and it manifests in himself having multiple ways of eating. It's very weird, but also it the idea is creepy. The execution incredibly wholesome, and also you get to watch a very well choreographed Kamen Rider. Like whoever's taking over the scene acting for this, top tier. Also, I just love that Gab has a similar to like I forget if it was Fives or another rider, but he's got a very cool like after he transforms like a pose, and also his transformation music is literally haunting carnival music for no reason.
Oh,
Yeah. But yeah,
aren't they supposed to be flashing a bit?
it depends. Like it depends on the rider. Like some are less flashy despite having a ton of like CG. Like what I would say it's not super flashy would be Drive, but they are also literally having metal Hot Wheels tracks like drawn around them, and then a tire fuses to their chest. So again, Kamen Rider is one of those things you don't fully get until you experience it, and explaining it is like a fool's errand. That's why I typically always want to start people off with what I think is the best Kamen Rider, which is Fours, which is, oh, are we getting High School Musical? Okay, that's a space alien. Okay, things have escalated, and our main character does not know the word trash means garbage because they're saying it in English.
Huh.
So he thinks that trash is a cool name.
Just kidding. Like a regular show, flashbacks with the trash boat name.
Oh yeah, no. I'm glad that there's been a resurgence of people just wanting to like, can we talk about regular show? And I'm just like, yes, always. That show is too good for this world.
No, no, no. To see the. Go ahead.
No, I think it's in the same vein. So you finish.
Yeah, I never got around to see Close Enough. What's the name of the second show of Joey Conchelo?
I actually watched, I think, all of it. I would have to double check back because I'm not sure if there was like a. I know it got canceled, but I'm not sure how far into other episodes because I think they were released in blocks. But that is very good. If you want to sit down for something that you can just listen to, it's up there. Sorry.
So thank you. So
I'm
thank
just-
you to everyone who is sticking around for the impromptu podcast.
I mean, what was the last? I know we've done this before. What was the last podcast we did? I know it was during like one of the pack tactics. I think it was Star Wars.
No, I think we ended up just talking about Epic for a while.
That too. Which, oh hey, the next saga comes out in. Oh lord, how close to the next session does the next saga come out in?
It's going to be after next one.
Okay,
No, that for sure. Yeah.
I have no sense of time.
Time is a social construct. Deadlines are not.
Yeah. Which reminds me, I have to check in on something soon.
Oh, fun.
Well, no, I have to talk to someone about a slightly open deadline, find out how much progress has been done on something, and then be like, okay. Yeah. Luckily, it's not too much stream sensitive, so I just gotta touch base with somebody. It's been a minute. Me remembering to message somebody who's not actively messaging me. Okay,
Hi, I'm so sorry about that. I just got
Welcome back.
You're fine. Figured something was up.
Sorry about that. Yeah, we're good.
All right. Well, then I'll switch us back over.
We were tried and hopefully succeed to keep people interested.
Yeah. Again, I'm really sorry about that, folks.
No, you're fine. It happens.
So, as the five of you walk down the street, and to the comments about not having music, uh, at least for now, I will see what I can do for the breaks. Because there's some free stuff that we could probably use, but for now, it's very
Yeah.
intentional. As
Oh,
you walk outside of the tavern and find the streets to be completely barren. Completely barren. In fact, what, originally wasn't necessarily that it wasn't, but, it wasn't necessarily bustling for those of you who have been in town long enough. Um, but at this point, especially after watching the capacity of a crowd, right, being able to form at a beck and call, you notice almost instantly how vacant this town feels when there isn't a single person inside their houses. Not a single person. It is quiet, eerily quiet, too quiet, even. As the five of you make your way, you walk down this main street, which you pass the fountain, which, for the record, for a festival, this is a town where you can clearly see disparities in wealth amongst people. You see, a lot of the businesses seem to have more, shall we say, sturdy and well kept architecture. You see, and it's, for the record, very basic. We're thinking here, if you wanted to ask me about, shall we say, a time, they would be medieval structures for sure. Very basic, as needed. You might see ornamentation, if you will, if there are bigger signs of wealth. But for the most part, it is very plain. And of course, you do see many a building ramshackle, downtrodden, boarded up. Of course, you pass what four of you recognize as the Meistersinger's house, this very out of place building that seems to be almost out of a different time entirely, with its cone like roofs, its different colors, its stone, and its wood, its various different levels. As you note, it is 3 stories again. And yet there's not a single light, not even as there was before. Before you had seen the single light on the 3rd story, but now there are no lights. And any window that has a blind or a curtain has been pulled. You continue to walk until eventually you reach this ginormous building. The best thing that I can describe it as is a giant, it's actually rather impressive. It's this dome-like structure, utilizing a combination of like iron and wood, somehow managed to be maintained despite the clear humidity of the swamps. This thing is nothing necessarily of decoration on the exterior, but you can very clearly tell that that this thing in it of it itself is nothing short of a landmark, as it towers extremely high. In fact, its ceiling towers over some of the trees, almost covered by the cloudy mist above. And you also notice at the front that there is a door, the a couple of stairs, not many, leading up to this door, and you notice a single person standing outside. This person kind of hunched over a little bit. They seem very pale, almost sickly of skin. Their hair shaggy and black and not very well kept, and their clothing just as plain and in disrepair. As it slowly you approach the building, the person raises their head with very tired gray eyes, looks to the five of you and goes, "Are you here for the battle?"
Yes,
If you
we're
will.
here to observe.
Observation. Are you
Yes.
sure?
Looks at Lena.
Looks to the group and nods.
Very well. You seem capable. I hope you have. There's a long pause before they say, "A safe time." They reach out, grab the iron door handle. They press the latch and they swing the door open. You notice that the door, as it swings open, is incredibly quiet.
I'll say before they step in, uh, anyone who's close to Branson will smell the smell of ozone, as after hearing that, he's casting protection from evil and good, specifically towards undead.
Um,
Hey,
as as the individual opens the door, she looks at the party and says, "You'll not want to make any unwanted loud sounds or anything to draw attention to you. Would be the best bit of advice. Rosvan, might I borrow you for a moment?"
Sure. I see no issues with that.
Communication will be a little bit important during this, but we don't want to talk, as it were. Um, some of the bandages and brunes on me have given me a little bit of extra abilities, I suppose, outside my own formal ones. And one of them is a very useful one. And you can see her reach up to the runic bandages on her face. And the one that's kind of dangling down a little bit in the image, kind of down her cheek. You can see her reach up and kind of pull that taut and kind of use one of her sharpened fingernails to cut it right up against the other runic bandages. Other ones wrapped around her head look like they're almost sucked against her face without causing imprints. This one dangling piece is loose, and she cuts it, and it has a couple runes on it. And she will hold it out to you. If you would, please keep a hold of this. It'll make sense in the near future.
Very well. I have no
Uh,
reason to not trust you.
And she will use her feature. Eerie token.
I knew it!
Ooh.
Ah.
And otherwise, she just readjusts her hair a little bit and is like, "All right, I guess we should head inside, unless anybody else has anything to prepare, just to be safe."
I think I don't have anything I need to do. Miss Lena, Mr. Ofestial, in case we meet any form of adversity, I am more an upfront fighter. I will do my best to protect anyone who needs to be safeguarded.
are you going in or not? The guy just kind of looks at the five of you, deliberately interrupting you.
Oh,
I believe we are.
I guess we should head inside, and later we'll start heading in.
Hopefully, we'll do as well. And just out of curiosity, how do both Lena or Official react to the fact of the tiny thing referring as itself as a fighter?
Um,
Uh,
Ophestio blinks at you confused, but he just goes along with it. You probably know more about yourself than he does right now.
Currently, the last 24 hours have been like nothing but bewildering surprises. So this is like the tamer stuff right now. Yeah, she's like, yeah, I can believe that.
Sure, whatever. Go inside. But yeah, I assume we go inside.
You remember this structure, this building, as being this giant. I described it as as I said before, a dome with benches of sorts coming upward. Down in the center, there being um, sort of a stage and various forms of different lights and magical mechanisms going off in this sort of space. But in this moment, you watch as what was originally set to be one stage is now three. And you see not one, not two, not three, although three being familiar, but a total of 7 different bards, all seeming to tune their instruments, those who have them. One that you will notice um, swinging their sword. You would recognize this one to be one of the fair winds, as the 3 bards up at the on the top central stage are the fair winds, and you recognize them to have their instruments, and the one in green, all of which, by the way, are deliberately colored. They should be anyway. Uh, that one seems to be, instead of practicing an instrument or messing around with a tuning or of some sort, is instead swinging their sword as if practicing. And as the doors shut behind you, all eyes turn simultaneously towards you five. You recognize the one in red, Rita. At least the one in red, Rita, um, lowering her instrument and with a smirk on her face, looks to you all and goes, I thought you were coming just to observe. This is quite interesting in a development. And you have a fifth? Did you just grab them? Or did you manage to talk somebody into, you know, um, joining alongside you?
Are we not here to observe?
Comfy looks at Lena.
We are here to observe.
Interesting. You'll notice, by the way, all of you collectively, that the seats are in fact empty.
Oh.
There is
What-
not a single person in the audience.
Are we late to the performance?
Oh no, you're quite on time, actually. I'm just, I guess, a little surprised.
So are we. We expected people to want to come and enjoy the festivities.
Lena's like looking around like, I expected a crowd to be here watching.
Was under the impression that the people missing outside would be here.
I'm not sure why you would have gotten that impression, but if that's what suits your fancy. And then Rita kind of turns to the other 2 members of the Fairwinds. The one in green, Saoirse, kind of lowers her sword and goes, I think it's really fascinating to me that when they heard observe, they thought to physically come here.
Do you
Well,
observe differently?
Most of the time, if people want to. After all, that's the best way to guarantee your safety and to not get looped in. But I mean, if that's what you want, that's fine.
It seems interesting to me. Well, my friends, I was not expecting to compete in any form of way, but would you like to leave or try and stay here and, I suppose, contribute?
You see Humphrey scratching his blowy head, and it's like, I don't know anymore. Miss Lena, is any of this normal?
It's a good question. It isn't it normal to like have a crowd watching, or is that incorrect?
Are you asking in character or above game?
This would be like above game. Like, would Lena have known this?
Roll me a history check.
Okay, history go. We. Ooh.
Yes, in that 20.
20 win.
It's really hard to
Oh,
say
hey,
because,
yeah.
as you said so yourself, every single town has its own rules. Clearly, something was not communicated here because from Harmonia, those battles typically are not even held in like an arena. And of course, audiences are crucial. So, if
Lena.
that's not the case here, something is either incredibly wrong or there's information that was deliberately not shared with you.
She starts thinking like rapidly. Says, "No, this isn't how it's done in Harmonia. Not at all. There was a different stipulation at this particular battle that I'm unaware of."
Above game, just to ask for
Mm-hmm.
possibly a roll.
Mm-hmm.
Did again I'm blanking on their name, but the Meister singer that we talked to. I'm trying to remember if they encouraged us to enjoy the battle of the bands.
Sargrove, Meister Singer Sargrove did say if you're interested in watching or participating, that it was happening later.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
there was no specification of what exactly observing and or watching meant.
Just gonna say Branson has a permanent look of I could have just been drinking and going to sleep. I could have been doing that. That's it for me.
This place just keeps getting more and more confusing. Uh,
I believe there was a different stipulation that is not usual to the battle of the battle of the bards that I'm used to. Usually, they draw in Harmonia very, very large crowds. Yeah, in person. Well, something's amiss here, but no real turning back now.
Humphrey steps forward and looks at the fair winds. All right, so we are here. What happens next?
But as an aside, you are actually more than welcome if you would like to push yourself forward as far as you would like on the map. You're welcome to.
Oh, will do. My,
Is it
nope.
not functioning?
No, I see it. Sorry, it's like,
Okay, you're good.
yeah,
And your question was what happens now?
yeah. We are here. What happens now?
Well, Rita kind of like taps her hand against her leg. I mean, if you want to participate, when the clock strikes the hour, it begins. If you wish to observe, well, I'm not sure exactly how you intend to do that, but I'd be interested to see you try. I don't think I've ever seen anyone try to do that before.
You've never had an audience before.
Not here, no.
The unintentional skill issue just was thrown out.
It's just one of those things where it really depends on whose terms, right? Um, and every single time any of us have specifically gone up against Milan. Oh, I'm sorry. Meister's singer Stargrove. We have never had an audience. But if you talk about like other competitions of which I'm sure your lovely little guide Lena was it would be happy to share with you. Those other duels and those other battles, yeah, sure, those had an audience, but I don't recall ever having an audience up
Well,
against the Meister singer.
I am not used to entering a contest I do not intend to win. I have no interest in becoming the Meister Singer, so I don't really see why I would compete.
These competitions are not just about, I mean, yes, they're absolutely about placement, right? They're always about wanting to claim the role, but it's also about hierarchical stature. Are you in or are you out?
I am out.
That's a damn shame.
Woo,
Well,
go Humphrey! I believe in you.
What?
Ophistiel timidly raises his hand. Excuse me. This is called the Battle of the Bands, correct?
Battle of the Bards, Battle of the Bands. People tend to get it mixed up, but you know.
Is battle a literal sense?
Quite. And like all three Fair Winds members just smile.
Branson will then raise one hand, waiting to be called on.
You can talk. What are you, 5?
It was how I was taught to ask questions. But I have one question. Is this to the deaf?
I mean, it can be, but in my experience, it's more been around about knockouts, right? And they all kind of look at each other with this sudden sense of uncertainty that none of you have actually seen from any of them before. And in fact, the other two bands that you see stationed also sort of give each other uncertain looks and start muttering amongst themselves. And for the record, for the four of you who recognize the any of the bards in this room, all of you will notice that there is one very important person who is not currently present.
Hmm.
I'd assume the Meister singer?
Correct.
Meanwhile, Branson would just turn to both. What he would just kind of like lean into like the group that's around him, which is everybody but Ophestiel, but they could probably also hear him. If we are going to compete, I cannot. I have only ever fought to the death. I do not know if I can hold back.
Well, that makes things more interesting now, doesn't it? I can't necessarily say that's a bad thing. You might.
Hmm.
And for the record, specifically Leda, I would like you to make me an insight check.
Alrighty. Insight, not my best. 14. 14.
Even with a 14, you're able to tell that when Rita says that might be for the best, that's cocky. that is coming off as, even though in the moment it's like, yeah, that might be for the best. No, the intention there is very cocky, if not threatening. It's incredibly threatening.
I'm getting mad Heather's vibes.
I wonder why.
Humphrey fixes fixes his head a little bit and takes another step forward. You know what? From the moment we've been here, we've set foot on this place. We've been trying to play by this place's rules, as poorly explained as they are. So fine, we're here. It's going to be a fight. I am not opposed to it. Looks at the group.
You'll see Branson take a step up behind you, and he will then crack his neck loudly, just side to side, pull up his hood, and unsheath his axe. That's it. That's all he does. But he's backing you.
Alright, I had not been known that Fleur runs away from helping his friends. He'll pull out his rapier.
Humphrey will tip his up to you and say, I owe you a drink. Does that make it better?
A little. It depends on the drink.
Elena just like shakes her head. It's like, I did not have this in my cards today, and that this was how this was going to turn out. This is going to be very interesting. At least it'll make for quite the story.
Well, I'm not necessarily too keen on this idea, but I suppose I owe you all a favor, so I'm game.
My. How confident. Well, I guess now we just...
I think Humphrey, your hat as well can use a little bit of adjusting. Oh, and Branson, your axe is well sharpened, yes?
Tick, 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 tick.
Do you have something in mind, Mr. Rasman?
Oh no, I'm just curious.
You hear as soon as Razvan says, "I'm just curious," a rather loud like bell rings and it reverberates in this particular setting, and as it does, it kind of shocks all of you, kind of sending chills down to your core. Like, you almost feel like your brain itself has been moved around by the vibration of how loud the sound is. And really quickly, Branson,
Mm-hmm.
with advantage, I want you to roll an Arcana check.
Oh boy.
Oh.
That's a 22.
You notice, for a moment, as the sound has gone off, you've been holding on to your spell for quite some time, and you're starting to notice a very, 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 very faint, like when a tuning fork is hit, faint ringing sound coming from your spell focus.
Oh, my axe.
With-
Great.
And with that, I would like everyone to roll initiative.
Ooh.
Alrighty.
Oh boy.
Oh boy!
People be fast today. Yeah, Branson and Humphrey were ready.
You actually get to go first because, I mean, the points.
I mean, it's a nat 20. I would not take that away from you.
I would say in this one point, I don't want to kill important NPCs, and my character literally does not know how to not kill people, so I'd rather have someone take the first punch.
Will do then.
Yeah, I will succeed it.
But yeah, both Humphrey and Branson tie at 22.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have Ophestiel at 15, Rosvan at 14, and Lena at 9. Oh!
Oh.
Oh, we're starting off strong?
More of just someone accidentally misclicked a spell, so.
Possibly. Possibly.
To be fair, though, as someone who tried to abuse Mold Earth throughout 2 years of a Warlock campaign, mad respect for picking it.
Oh,
Check
whoops,
yourself.
that's my bad. I'm trying to like navigate so I can see everything and have it. My screen is very tiny.
Oh, you're
Don't
Uh,
worry, I feel
I
ya.
must have clicked it on accident.
Yeah, no, you're fine. Also,
You can
ignore-
always
What?
you can always pop out the sheet window.
yeah, you can turn it into an actual.
Okay.
Yeah, that little like a dual screen
There
on
we
the
go.
left side. Yeah, that turns it into just a
Yeah,
normal
yeah,
window.
yeah. Okay. That makes it a lot better.
Yeah.
We start at the top of the order. However, we start with everybody making a Constitution saving throw at the top of the turn.
Oh yeah.
Hiya.
Oh boy.
That's a 10.
I need one from Rosvan and I need one from Branson.
Will do. Do.
Also, because just for people that are only listening, do you mind calling your rolls?
Yes, please call rolls. That will also help me as well.
Yeah.
Imagine being mute. Was me.
Imagine.
13.
Thank you.
Okay.
13.
I have 16.
Letting you all know what happens at each of your round at each of your turns. Sorry, I can talk.
Mhm.
So, starting with Humphrey, unfortunately, as that resounding gong surges through your body, you feel your gelatinous self literally rippling from the sound, the vibration that is bouncing between the different walls in this dome, and you find yourself stunned and taking 3 points of thunder damage.
Oh.
Branson, it
Alrighty.
is now your turn. As you also find yourself reverberating, you find your skull pounding, this sensation completely 1000% new and you terrible and just as you clutch your head, you are also stunned and you take 3 points of thunder damage.
Okie dokie.
Next up, you watch as if completely prepared and ready to go for this event, though clearly still getting her bearings, you see Rita take her movement forward, almost strutting with confidence towards the edge of the stage, and you watch as she smiles at the lot of you and says, well, we're off to an excellent start, if I do say so myself. And let me double check. Yes, excellent. You all also begin to hear, almost in a very chaotic sort of, this very chaotic sort of dissonance, that's the word I was looking for, from the sounds that you are already hearing in this room. You begin to hear almost the ethereal, ghastly sounds of voices singing, calling out. Some of them seemed to be harmonizing, and some of them seem to be clashing in a dissonance that is incredibly hard to listen to. And with a smirk and a smile, as Rita continues to play on her, again, I believe it was a lute, strumming the lute with this very specific tune, that is actually the end of her turn, bringing us to a Festial. As you are a bit shocked by the sudden really loud sound, and of course this additional now dissonance coming from these voices where you're not even sure exactly where they are coming from. You do steal your resolve, prepared for a fight. And what would you like to do on your turn?
That is a good question, Mega Man. Um, so let me see. So our targets are so we're all at the door.
Mhm.
Correct.
But everyone
And-
else in this room is hostile. So even if you don't aim for the center three, the four at your left and right are also looking at actually everybody with hostility. It's kind of guns blazing at everybody sort of expressions. Like they are as actions are being taken in this moment or not. Um, they seem to be like looking side to side what's about them.
Let's see. Mm,
You are able to use your
all right, I
movement
know.
to get closer if you need to. And
Yeah,
you have an action
I'm
and a bonus
reading.
action.
Yeah, I'm reading through spells. I probably
Okay.
should have done this a little bit sooner. In preparation. Um, so I do have one possibly dumb question for you,
Okay.
but on any spell with like in uh like when it comes to the range of the spell, is that
Mhm.
range from where I am, or is that range from
Correct.
where
That
I
is.
decide to cast it?
Well, sometimes it does depend, but usually when it comes to like range, casting range, that is how far out from you are able to cast it. So for example, if you had have a spell that says a range of 90 feet or a range of 30 feet, it means that from your point where you are on the map, you are able to cast it out 30 feet or 90 feet.
Okay. And on the squares, how big is each square?
Each square is 5 feet.
5 feet. Okay.
There's
Um.
a mapping tool if you need it, or like a measuring tool if you need it that allows you to measure from yourself outward
Oh,
if you need
there we
to.
go. Okay. Probably not the best idea to have me technically go first. Trying to
It's
figure this out.
unfortunately how the dice went.
That is, and now I feel very pressured.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
To be fair, Ophetio is also very confused, so these matches.
Yeah.
Well, and there's that, and like I have not played legitimately on Roll20 before, so it's not been very kind to me.
Oh,
As we found out yesterday.
Yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay, I'm going to stay put because I'm a little terrified, but Ophestial is going to steal his resolve and focus on the two on the left smaller stage. And he is going to cast Entangle.
Okay.
Very nice.
Strength save. Here we go. Alrighty. You watch as vines. Well, first off, what does it look like when you cast the spell?
He, when it comes to when it comes to spell casting, he gets into a little groove of doing like a little dance, waving his quarterstaff around, in circular motions, conjuring gnarled and spiny vines from wherever the ground is underneath his targets.
And as those vines creep out from it's actually kind of brutal as they warp and like tear through the wood that's under their feet. But you watch as both of them vines wrap around both of their legs, sets of legs. And your spell was successful.
Look, guys, I got some.
Yeah. I really can't say much because he's stunned.
Same.
Anything else you would like to do on your turn?
I'm gonna stay put and end my turn.
Okay, ending your turn. Funny enough, one of the two bards that you managed to wrap vines around seems to be gripping their head, unable to move. The
Oh.
other one is going to try to break free of your and you watch as they're like tugging at the vines and like just like pulling at them, trying to get out of your vines, and they are just completely entangled by this spell, by these vines. That brings us actually to Razvan. You find yourself not stunned, but your ears do hurt quite a bit as you take 5 points of thunder damage. What would you like to do on your turn?
Oh no.
Do we not have a
Sam, you're
Zan?
mute. Are you muted again? There you are.
Where's the one who was talking?
The one who was talking?
Yeah, the red mark.
Yeah, the red mark.
We are going to move to here.
Also, holy shit, that's the first time I've been able to ping something on Roll20 in like 8 months.
Congratulations. And we are going to kind of put a finger to the lips, or his own lips, kind of looking towards her with a shushing motion, and cast silence.
Okay. We're just gonna if I can get the tool, where's the tool? There's the tool. We're just gonna rectangle. This is gonna be our entangled square. Over here.
Yeah, because that is a lingering spell. Having the visuals
Yes,
is really
correct.
useful.
And then we are going to also put a silence, which is also
And that is going to be Razvan's turn.
Okay.
Silence also being like the MVP of all spells in this party so far.
Yeah.
I think that's not quite correct. I'm working on it. I'm sorry. We
You're
are.
fine.
There we go. There we go. That's a square. Okay. Anything else Razvan would like to do on this turn?
Nope, he's good to go. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, next up, interestingly enough, we have the one in green, who is going to, you watch as she sort of raises a one sword up into the air, kind of does a little twirl, and like taps like almost like very fairy tale, very flourished, taps the blunt edge of the blade to her boots. And then is going to quite literally bolt across the stage and hop off and end her turn here. You watch as like as she is running, her boots are like kind of got a little bit of a glitter behind them, like leaving a bit of a glitter trail. And then this one over here, the one in blue, Ava is going to also yes, is going to, I'm so sorry, is going to use a full movement. Actually is going to dash, I'm sorry, and move to here. Just right outside of your range of silence. And is going to, I think that's it. Yes, that's all that she's going to do on her turn. Lena, you are up. And much like Razvan, you yourself feel the reverberation in your head. But you or I'm sorry, not like Razvan, much like a Festial, you find yourself not stunned nor taking damage. You feel a little rattled, but you steel yourself and you are good to go.
Okay. She will. She is going to use her movement and action to dash to get up in the face of the green marked member of the Fair Winds.
Mm-hmm.
And she like puts her pole arm out and she's like, "Oh no, you're not going any further."
Well, I would like to see you try to stop me.
Oh, fantastic invitation. Don't mind if I do. And she uses her bonus action. And there is some. Have you ever heard almost like during like high winds or like a tornado or something, the sound of like wood just getting twisted like through a thresh?
Good.
That sound starts peeling out as her arms start like dysmorphing horrifically. There is the sound. There's like almost a telltale like dripping of like it almost looks like sap. Coming from some of the arms, as one of the arms like grows massive, and the other arm that's now holding the pole arm, and now makes a whole lot of sense why the pole arm looks a little oversized for her and has multiple grips. Almost like a Hydra's head, that arm starts to have multiple arms come out of it. As 3, 4, 5 hands suddenly grip a hold of the pole arm. As she will activate her archetype feature, Eldritch Weaponry. However, that will have to end her turn, as that is all her actions.
Okay. As you all As you all watch this happen in a very brief moment in time, you notice that these two bards on the second stage, or the third stage, I'm sorry, the pink and the purple, are both clutching their heads, unable to move. But you start to hear, like a click sound coming from that stage. At this point, for free, I would like my spellcasters to roll me with advantage an Arcana check.
Oh boy.
Oh, okay. Nat 20, 23.
18.
18.
18.
No, it's an advantage. You got the funny number.
21.
21.
Hey, 20, man.
Anyway.
Branson, the tuning fork sound that your axe is making has begun to grow louder. Ephestial, your staff seems to vibrate in your fingers. And Razvan, you feel a tingling sensation in your hands as the sounds of the gong, the sounds of the moaning and vibrating and the vibrato and the dissonant song that seems to just consume and permeate in the space, but now you hear almost this spacious, almost, you know when like mushrooms are attached to like a wire and you can hear the sound that they are making? You've never heard it before, but Ophestiel, your vines are starting to emulate sound. And Razvan, even though you yourself are not playing any music, somehow you can hear just a tone, just a soft murmuring tone, as if emulating from your hands. And I, at the top of the order, once again, would like a Constitution saving throw from everybody.
Oh boy.
17.
A 7.
14.
You know what? I've got inspiration. I'm gonna just, spend that. Also, Alpha, if you want to call it yours while I roll.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I got a 17 on my end as well.
Oh boy! I guess I don't have to worry about killing any of these random musicians. That's a nat 1 for a 3.
Natural 1 for a 3. Top of the order, Humphrey. That sound is getting louder and is getting far more overstimulating than it was before. You feel your gelatinous self just vibrating in the space, yet you steel yourself. You take a deep breath. You do not find yourself stunned, but you do take 15 points of thunder damage.
Oh boy.
Whoa.
What would you like to do on your turn?
My turn. Let's see. Just to yeah, here. Trying to, assuming this is a kind of a last man standing thing. That's the assumption Humphrey is working on. Moving 35 feet and move up to 40 because monk. He just jolts towards the two bards on this side. And where's my shit? Here we are. And immediately you will see. I have it. Hey. Here we go. Spending 1 key point for arms of the astral self. So that is a 10-foot radius. So both of them have to roll a where is it? Yeah, a dex save.
Yep. Oof.
If they are under the effects of being stunned, that means they fail automatically.
Yeah, they fail automatically.
Awesome. Means I have to roll. I believe my martial arts right now is at d4, so that would be 2d4s. Check. Yeah. Yeah. Lovely roll. They take 2 damage each.
Okay, 2 damage is 2 damage.
Yeah, damage.
You
But
watch
yeah, you will see.
as you do that. How would you like to knock these two out?
Oh. Yeah. Humphrey, at the moment he feels he's no longer restrained, he's not even running. He like collapses onto himself and shoots himself like a cannonball. And on impact, you see how he like again explodes in a whirlwind of just tentacles. His tiny mass just lashing lashing and thrashing around. And as the moment comes, both of them are knocked in the chaos, and Humphrey now has 2 10-foot long tentacles like sprouting out of his mass. And still, I still have 5 feet of movement. Humphrey will move here and throw a dagger at the target Lina is fighting with my action.
Okay.
Let's see. He's throwing a regular dagger.
Pardon?
He's throwing a regular dagger for that one.
Okay.
Because I have quite a few daggers. Hiya! 23 for damage.
Well
And
done.
no, for 23 for impact. Sorry.
Yes. Yes,
And
correct.
that is 4 piercing, and because I have a nearby ally, when I'm doing a finesse attack or range attack, I do get to roll 1d6 for sneak attack.
Yup. Is that... Do you have the... There it is. Okay.
Yep. Don't worry.
It's working about it. It's thinking about it. It's thinking long and hard.
Here. That is 3 extra damage.
3 extra damage. Still good damage. As your dagger slices into her leg, I have to roll. Okay. You watch as she kind of like she kind of hisses, kind of like in like hisses in pain. Throws you kind of like a side-eye glance stare of frustration, but reverts her attention immediately back to Lena. Anything else you would like to do on your turn?
Yeah, as an object interaction, Humphrey will tip his hat towards I did not catch the name of the green one. I know the other one are Rita and Eva.
The green one is Saoirse.
Perfect. Humphrey tips his hat towards her. And that would be turn.
Right as you go to finish, you notice that the platform you are standing on has begun to rise.
Yo.
10 feet, 20 feet.
Oh no.
And it stops at 30 feet up.
No.
Next up, Branson.
So, I forgot about something.
Okay.
Would you consider this magical effect equivalent to a spell? For reference, I'll just put in chat.
Magical
Yeah.
resistant, yeah.
It's up to you. I will take either way. I rolled terrible, but I forgot about this because we haven't fought anything with magic for the entirety of this game.
No, I will accept that actually, which gives you a 20.
Thank you.
I'm glad you caught it. Thank you for catching that. So, with that magical resistance quite literally saving your butt, you find yourself able to, okay, you start to process what is happening. You're not really sure what is happening, but you start to process that the things are growing louder, things are growing more dissonant, and you steel yourself, you focus, you refocus. You are back in the game.
Branson's
Not
going
stunned,
to...
no
Yep.
damage.
Branson is going to very angrily just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And he is already pre-wind-upping as he walks into the center of this area. Lets out not a berserk scream, but just a pure feral, just pure anger. I am done with this shit scream. As he slams his axe down as it's charged with electricity as, Babu, the oldie but the goodie, I use my channel divinity, Roar of Vengeance.
Ooh.
So I select Searcha, Rita, and both of the entangled bards.
Okay.
They must all make a wisdom save, and I will roll the damage for this.
Well then.
Ooh. Okay. What is it? What does it look like when you cast this channel divinity? Is it just the roar? Does anything happen
Yeah, I was about
magically to anyone who's affected?
So here's what happens. I'll let you decide like how it fully affects the surroundings. But Branson's axe starts charging with the same black and blue tinged lightning. He slams it into the ground, and then 4 bolts of lightning come through. It's up to you if they come through under the dome or through the dome, but they basically target everyone he just said, and they just hit them with a small bolt of lightning.
The thing I'm reading really quickly before I answer what happens. I'm just double checking to see if it's like all or nothing in terms of damage.
It is
It's not halved.
Yeah, it's all or nothing, but they
Okay.
repeat their save and they don't take damage on other turns. It's basically the save
Okay.
is against the other effect, which is they have disadvantage on attack rolls against anything that's
Right.
not Branson.
So, you watch as the lightning sort of courses through this through the ground and through the woodwork, and in that moment of silence for flavor, you see Rita kind of like sidestep the bolt as if knowing it's about to come up through the ground, and you watch as it snaps, crackles into the air, and hits nothing. Similarly, you actually watch as Saoirse like touches the blade of her one sword to the ground where she anticipates your attack is going to be, draws for flavor her other scimitar, holds it up in the air, and you watch as the bolt of lightning surges through her swords and crackles, dissipating in the air, takes no damage. But the 2 bards on the other stage seem to be wildly ill prepared for this, as they both seem to be instantly shocked, like when a kid puts a fork in a socket, shocked by this surge of lightning, and you actually watch as this one falls to their knees and collapses on the ground. Anything else you would like to do on your turn?
You'll also see Branson, as this happens and he's staring at the 2 that like managed to dodge. He is not at his feral like murderous rampage, but he is also 120% done with this day and is very angry. And also, hey Bob, thanks for the raid of 18 people as I describe what's about to happen. But he drops concentration on protection from evil and good. And now his body is just radiating that black lightning all around his limbs and his chest as Shield of Faith.
Okay. Hell yeah.
But yeah, no, he's basically saying, come the fuck at me if you dare.
Sounds good to me. Next up in the order is Rita, who is really, really not thrilled with what has gone on, and the fact that the lute is no longer playing music. The lute is no longer playing music, and that really, really upsets her. She is visibly furious and yells out like some type of probably explicit. That's still not the right word. It's fine. But the flaw in the system is that it cannot be heard. So what exactly was said, you will never know. Double checking words as written. Okay. Well, she's going to take out she is going to take out her sword, putting her lute away. She is going to run out of the cube, and upon stepping out, she hears the fact that there was sound. You notice, Razvan, this look of confusion on her face? As all of a sudden there is now sound again, and it's so much sound. It is so much sound, that it is actually incredibly overwhelming as you watch it hit her. And she does one of those things where, like, for my neurodivergence here in the game and at home, you know when you touch a surface that's a bad surface and you kind of like curl in on yourself? She has done that, and for narrative's sake, has dropped her sword on the ground, and that is the end of her turn.
Mood.
Excellent. Ephestial. As the sounds around you have grown much, much louder, there are more dissonant tunes at play and vibrations. You find yourself, much like everyone else, grasping at your head, stunned, and take 15 points of thunder damage.
Oh boy. Okay.
Those two are. That one is out. Once again, this bard had tried to get out of the entangled spell, recognizing their fate, is instead going to first thing that you notice is they actually like kind of hit themselves on the arm, and you watch as some of the wounds around their legs and around their the shall we say the blood oozing out of their ears begins to dry and heal. And then, believe it or not, they look to you, Razvan, and say, "Truce!" And they give you bardic inspiration, Razvan.
Okay.
And that is going to be their turn, leading immediately into your turn, where you, again, starting to recognize, not necessarily, unless you've already put together what is going on, maybe not necessarily what is going on, but the way that the sound is affecting everybody, and you are able to really focus in and mind what you are doing. You take no damage and you are not stunned. What would you like to do on your turn? Oh, and you have bardic inspiration. It is a d6.
They are calling for a truce?
The one on the smaller stage, the one in orange, is calling for a truce.
Okay, well, fair enough. Wasn't going to go after them anyways, but we'll let the entangled keep them stuck there for a moment, as we are going to cast Dissonant Whispers. We're going to drop concentration real quick
Okay.
on silence, and we're going to cast Dissonant Whispers on Red Dot over there.
Rita. Yeah.
Rita the Red Dot. Fuck it. Yo. Oh, good. Glad I guessed that level 2.
Okay.
DC 14 Wisdom saving throw. On failed save, they take damage. And must use their reaction if able to move as far as their speed allows away from me. The creature doesn't. Actually, yeah. We'll keep. I forgot about that part. We'll keep the silence spell up just in case this isn't concentration.
Okay.
Also, you're doing 13 damage to a bard. You might have just knocked them out.
So, you have not. They are still standing somehow, but you start to notice blood dripping down their neck.
And the
From
whisper,
both of their
the whisper
ears.
will just say, "You know you're supposed to match your belt and boots." And that's it.
Oh!
Ooh, shit.
I love it when
Anything
we
else
get
you would
catty
like to
here.
do? Yeah.
And we are. Well, I mean, they're gonna be Heather. I'll be fucking Heather right back. I've had fucking Rosmon's had rosé today. They're good to go. We're gonna give bardic inspiration to Lena, kind of looking down towards their impressive visage. Well done. Keep up the good work. Give bardic inspiration.
Thank.
That's Rosmon.
All right. It is now Saoirse's turn. Saoirse, you notice now has 2 blades out, a short sword and a scimitar, and is actually going to immediately take 2 swings on you, Lena.
Mm-hmm.
Dirty 20 to hit.
Yep, that's it.
Okay. You watch as the sword that hits you glitters with a form of magic. You see almost like this sort of like this like bluish sheen to the blade, as instead of doing what you would expect a normal sword to do, you are dealt 10 points total of slashing damage.
Ugh.
The second roll. Ooh, okay. Interestingly enough, as the second blade comes down, you recognizing, you're dealing with a swords bard. You raise up your pole arm, and the blade of the blade of the scimitar clashes up against your pole arm, and you are able to parry the attack. That'll be her turn. It is now Ava's turn. Ava, who is going to move closer still, is actually going to use the rest of her movement and drop down from the stage. Then is going to look at you, Lena, and I am going to need... I'm trying to check what save. I'm so sorry. I have a million tabs open. I need from you a wisdom saving throw.
Alrighty. Wisdom. That'll be a 14.
Okay, so with a doot of the flute, Ava begins to play another song, and all of you watch as this like glowing like autumn gold copper glow begins to form around Lena's head. But Lena, as you shake your head, clearing your mind, keeping yourself refocused, the spell takes no purchase and is ineffective. That is the end of her turn. Yep, that actually brings it to your turn, Lena. Lena.
All right. As the magical effects attempt to grasp a hold of her and has to come to terms with fighting in close combat, Lena suddenly, after the parrying the one blow of the offhand, will kind of drop into this low stance, and you kind of notice how like the large bulk of your arm suddenly like grips the ground and like grabs a hold of it firmly. And you notice like she takes like the pole arm that has like the multiple arms gripping a hold of it that are sprouting out of her right. And suddenly you realize why the pole arm is so blunted. It's a wide blade, but it's not very sharp. And it's because she suddenly just swings it and drags it violently across the ground. If anyone's ever seen like how Godric fights, it's almost like that one swiping move.
I was literally gonna say that the second you did the first description.
Yeah, she has a fighting style very similar to Godric, and she'll swing the pole arm.
Lina the grafted.
And that will be, let me see. That's I'm using that inspiration that you just gave me earlier because I don't want to get a natural one. That's okay. I'm gonna pass on that.
Don't forget you also have bardic inspiration.
If this lands, I'm saving it for something else. I'll take a 15.
A 15 does not make purchase.
Oh,
As she bats your sword away with hers.
all right. She is going to, with that swing, she is going to lurch and like shove like the sharp part into the ground and use it to suddenly swing and pivot around behind her, like in like this like kind of like crescent sliding on the ground. And she's going to action surge.
Okay.
Nice.
And two of the hands gripping a hold of that pole suddenly let go and in tandem lash out at the same time. One attack is going to be, both attacks are going to be her splintering claws attack.
Okay.
It will be a 1d8 to hit. That's a miss as well. But good news is, because she attacked with it once, she can use a bonus action to strike out again. Oh, come on. All right, it's fine.
Boy.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's this game of like parry between the two of you right now. It's just one after the next, one after the next, one after the next. And because I'm being mindful of time, I realize we've come to the top of the turn order, but because of what time it is, this is where we're going to pause it, and we are going to pick up finishing out this combat next session.
All right.
Alrighty.
Sounds good to me.
Dear Lord, I did not think I was gonna have to try and not murder bards this session. But yeah, since we are pressed for time, Zan, where can people find you?
You can find me getting my books for roleplay. Give me a moment. Someone else go first.
Also, I'd like to thank you guys for being patient with me while I'm trying to figure this
yeah,
stuff out. It's
absolutely.
been a long time.
You're totally
I'll
fine.
do my
We-
studying next time.
Oh, you're perfectly fine. Well, happy to have you here.
Yeah.
Full
I-
transparency, I was not expecting you to go first. I was not expecting
Not me
them
either.
to
It's
fail,
like, oh no, I
fail
have
that
to read
save
everything.
right
I
out
don't
the
know what
gate.
I can do.
Oh, no, Vaughn and me went first. The dice said we did not get to play. There is a difference.
Yeah.
And I was
no,
too
that-
stupid
yeah.
to know that I actually have an advantage on this because we have fought nothing but things that just hit you. No nuance, no clever.
It happens. But yes, you could find me over tomorrow on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/ZanalisGrim, at around 5 p.m. PST. I'm playing my first playthrough of Signalis. So if you like that game or games with that vibe, that'll be there.
Let's go
Aside from that,
lesbians.
I was about to say,
Aside-
existential
Good.
cyber lesbians, yeah, I think people like it.
all right. Aside from that, I don't think there's any Mad Mage or anything this week. On Saturday, you can find me over at twitch.tv/The Unexpectables at around 6 p.m. PST, where I am playing in a different part of the Domains of Dread. I did it this time, Citric.
Proud of you.
And in
Proud of you.
Barovia, if you ever heard that little place. So if you like more spooky, I don't know, gothic horror kind of vibes, then you come on over for that. And aside from that, I'll leave the talking skull to the talking orange.
Oh, hi. Yeah, it's me. I'm Cedric. You can find me pretty much everywhere at Cedric King, everywhere being Blue Sky, Twitter, back on Instagram somehow, Tumblr, and other places. Uh, Things have been pretty clogged for the past couple of months, but likely before next stream, I'll have some commissions open, so keep an eye open for that. I am thinking of doing sketch commissions, not my usual ones, just to do something quicker. But yeah, that's me. And other than that, you will find me here every other Sunday playing again as Humphrey. So, with that out of the way, our lovely new player, Cass, take the floor.
Hello, hello. I am Catastrophe, usually with a cos at the end on pretty much everything, but I lurk everywhere except for Instagram, where I'm the most active. I don't stream anymore. I used to. Hopefully, I can get back into that eventually. But when you live in a house with 4 other people, that's kind of impossible. But right now I am in the con crunch of a lifetime, where I'm finishing up a commission and 2 costumes. So if you want to watch me work, um, you can watch me on Instagram. Uh, yeah, it's probably going to be a whole lot of just dumping photos and then going back to it, but I've been told it's entertaining. But yeah, that's me.
I'll
Alf.
go.
Okay, go.
Yeah, sorry. I'll go. Y'all can find me all over the internet at TixDixel, where we're doing stuff and things. Again, we got No Love War Extra coming up on Saturday, if I remember correctly. Saturday, where we're gonna be. I don't know what chaos you have in store for us, Vaughn, but I'm delighted and I'm excited and I can't wait. You can find us in 2 weeks again here, where we will be resuming this combat and stuff will unfold. If you're already gripping your seats, uh, I'm really excited for what's to come. I do apologize for pausing our combat right in the middle of combat, but I appreciate y'all being flexible with me with that elongated break. I am so sorry about that. And again, of course, welcome, Kaz. Thank you for coming. Thank
Yeah.
you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for
Passing,
having me.
yeah, passing on the proverbial talking skull to one scale at Alpha.
Hi, everybody. I'm Skelly Alpha. I can be found at the moniker under Lena's Picture on Twitter and Twitch. After having evacuated Red parrying a hurricane, I'm getting back into streaming this week. Tomorrow, I'm picking back up Pacific Drive. Wednesday, I believe I'm going to be on Mocking Moth's stream as they play Mouthwashing. And Thursday, I'm doing Hi-Fi Rush. There might be some intermittent streams as well with some collabs and such. But that's really me as I pick up cleaning up the yard and stuff post hurricane and everything. This I play every other Sunday in this particular game, of course. I'm also, of course, looking for at least one other game to play in intermittently here and there. So if you know anybody that needs a seat filled, give me a shout. And that's really me. I'll pass it over to Vaughn.
And hi, you've already found me here at twitch.tv/BurnoutVaughn. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Blue Sky Burnout Vaughn, and over on Patreon at Burnout's Bar. Yeah, streaming is a mystery. We'll see what happens with No Love War Extra, because again, moving computers changed my life for the better. Unfortunately, emulators say fuck you to save data, so I'm gonna find hopefully something that we can do in the meantime, as I have to, in my off chance, stop playing Jedi Survivor and get back about 70 well, not 70, let's see here. We've done like 8, 9, 4 hour. It's got to be close to like 30 hours of Fate game. So look forward to that. Tomorrow we have Wizard Sips Plays, where we're going through the long haul of Resident Evil 6 playing as our Strixhaven characters, me and Zymicide. So if you like that, you can continue the horror for this month there. But with that, we're just going to, because we've been raided by so many people, tertiarily, like, involved with them. We're just going to go to Connor, because we've been raided by a Ties That Bind character. I believe also we had a D6 person in the chat. And we have an Unexpectables member in the call. So yeah, we're raiding Connor. Guys, got a raid message?
Cerveza Cristal!
Son,
You know what? Sure, Cerveza Cristal.
Let's
have already said
go!
we've sent the email. We are hoping for the sponsorship.
From across the room, we slam dunk one final time.
if you could hear me slowly dying in my chair, if you could.
Well, before
Citric, I told you, it's 3 times the session. Them's the
It
rules.
hurts every time.
before Citric dies from Cerveza Cristal, thank you all for coming out. We'll see you again in 2 weeks' time. We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.